so bad. Just like the
I wouldn't say it's
PS5.
bad. I would say it's better timing because everyone would be able to watch it.
Yeah, it's true. I'm hearing some
And also,
noise.
I think people just need some positivity in their lives. So actually, it'd
Yeah,
be
I think
perfect.
it's that. I've seen like several like indie video game music artists like offering their music now on Bandcamp for free. They just like enjoy this shit, like do stuff and like a lot of TV channels now like cable shit. They're showing it for
Yeah.
free. Like now you gotta like help people out and shit.
Yeah, this is where
When
you'd like
when
to.
is it gonna be a good time?
That's
You said
true.
it's the worst time. When is it gonna? We have no idea of that. So let's try to have
Yeah,
some
if they
fun.
had it planned and somebody was people making the point they're gonna do their investors briefing, they got to announce something. But
Uh,
Oh no, for sure. They're not. Their release schedule on their investors briefing can't be Xenoblade, and that's it.
yeah,
It's
It's
pathetic.
kind of like a few guys when you were like you didn't know if you wanted to do the podcast, or some people were like, dude, like we're counting on this podcast now and shit. Just have some dumb video game shit.
yeah, and
Yeah, we need some distractions right now.
before we get to live viewers, I mean, I might repeat this a few times. The podcast is next week. We'll be back on Monday, but it's gonna be at this time for the foreseeable future because my shift got changed to 6 a.m.
So
to
4
noon.
o'clock on Mondays.
So we're gonna do 4 p.m. Eastern time on Mondays until something changes.
Okay.
Everybody put the word out on Twitter.
I'll be glad. Yeah, I
Right now.
forgot. I meant to. I'm getting on Twitter right now, actually. I'll be glad when we're back to the normal schedule because if we're doing it on Mondays later, that means that we're back to running normal at work, which is something that I'm a little concerned. We're back to the normal schedule because may or may not ever happen. So, and anyone listening, I can't believe there'd be anybody out there who hasn't been affected by the coronavirus at this point. Whether it's just you got a kid in school and schools are closed, or even if it was a movie you were looking forward to is now, not hitting theaters like Black Widow and stuff. At some level, somebody's been affected, even at the most minor level. I'd be shocked if there was somebody who's like, yeah, nothing's changed for me,
Yeah, I mean,
So
it's to every day.
and just want to, throw a shout out to anybody in the healthcare industry, business, nurses, doctors, all of them, because road's going to be long and tough for a lot of people.
Yeah, that's my sister, yo. I hear these stories, yo. I'm like, oh shit.
Because New York's
I have family.
New York's about to get real bad.
Yeah.
Yep, it is.
Italy's kind of the. They say we're about 10 days behind Italy there, and there. I know Retrodeath says that they have terrible health care and people weren't listening, but that's, looked like they're a pretty nice hospital. The one video I saw, it's just being overwhelmed. Whether you're
But it's not like the hospitals are like fucking third world country, but
no,
they have half the cases in China, but they already exceeded them in deaths. They don't have enough stuff to care for people.
Well, you have misinformation, you have feet dragging, and you have 9 million people squished in together. So this is going to happen.
yeah, and it's a shame because I mean I was guilty of it not a couple weeks ago even. I was just still
We all were
oblivious to it kind of, and just kind of thinking, this. China had already kind of. I seen somebody told me about the city streets were absolutely vacant, and I'm like, it was like a couple weeks ago. He's like, man, it's like a post-apocalyptic movie. He's like, it's just weird seeing it. And I'm not a news watcher, so I was just like, he was telling me, and I was like, oh man, that's crazy. At that point didn't know any of at what level it got to. At that point.
Well, I think about like you hear everything in China. It's like, oh, it sucks, but then you hear like, oh, the first person in the U.S. and you just think whatever of it,
Mhm.
And now every state has thousands. You're like, whoa, like holy shit.
Yeah, we went
Are
from.
we live?
Yeah, we're live.
Because I don't see us.
We went from Michigan. Went from our less than 2 weeks ago, our first case, and then we were at like 20 or 30 for a couple days, and then found out that we didn't have any more tests, and then until that 500,000 tests came from the Air Force or whatever dropped off, and now we're at like 1,400 as of this morning. I mean, just like in a week and a half, and it's like,
Crazy.
and then we got the first one in my town, and then we're having shutdowns, and it's definitely unsettling to say the least. But I just hope everybody is staying safe and doing what you're supposed to do, and don't be one of those idiots out there. Like, I forget what celebrity was it. She was like, "I'm taking my kids to camp. You're not gonna take my rights away." I didn't see who it was, but I heard someone talking about it. I thought I heard somebody said it was.
Just to say, T, I didn't see us either. I literally had to go to
Yeah, we
Juice's
are.
page to find
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, we're not.
I just
Well,
said
I
this
heard,
too.
I heard, well, I heard
That's
YouTube's
crazy.
been fucking up with the sub boxes again.
Mm.
Like.
Nothing new.
Yeah.
That's
So I
crazy.
didn't
I
see
couldn't
us on
find
the
it at
sub
all.
box either. Yeah.
I got the notification. That was it.
Yeah, I put it
Yeah,
in.
I'm here, by the
Notification
way. I'm
Oh,
here, by the
he's
way.
here.
Alright,
Wait, when
do it
Got-
stealth mode. Nice.
So you're not 100% here?
Save.
You can't be late when we're early.
How dare you?
I'm having an evening. I'm having an evening. That's what I mean.
Yeah. So yeah, it's chaotic. It's stressful. I had a roller coaster ride yesterday where I wasn't sure if my job was going to be there in a couple weeks. Till now we're changing our shift, and it's still not. I'm still not feeling that confident. Just finding out that a 2-3 week shutdown could possibly keep the doors closed forever. I mean, now it's like at any moment they could extend this, and we could be pulled off the list of a essential business, and it's like. Yeah, it's scary, man. I've been working the same place for 22 years. I haven't had to worry about a job. I think one other time I was a little bit concerned when we downsized, but my boss pulled me aside like immediately. Is like, "Hey, we're keeping you, so don't worry about it." So I've never really had to be that stressed out about it, and so it's crazy times, man. I hope everybody we make it through, and people are gonna lose their jobs. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. People are gonna lose their lives, and I just hope. None of us here have to experience anything, the worst case scenario stuff. But so with that,
Well, the wife basically lost her job, so it's gravy.
yeah, I mean that's.
But we're all right.
I had a couple months, or not even 2 months, like a month, maybe 5 weeks ago. I had to buy a new furnace, and it cost me $2,700, and I was waiting for. I got $250 back from the energy rebate. But I'm expecting another 500 and something from this lawsuit thing for the brand I bought, and I'm thinking, am I gonna get this anymore? Like I was kind of hoping, kind of relying on that, but like that was a bad timing. I was about to. Luckily, I didn't buy a new stove or a fridge like I was thinking about doing, and because that
I'm not working. Well, I still do editing, but I'm not receiving a paycheck from teaching right now because Florida wants to be on that BS and don't want to pay me because I'm not certified here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so they find a little leeway. They always try to do that to get you. So I'm not like. And
I mean, they say that once this bill passes, there's gonna be an immediate payment of. Trump said last night $3,000 for a home of four, family of four.
Yeah.
I mean, that'll be nice for a month, or depending on what your expenses are. But what do you do after that? It's like. I'm considering canceling some.
Wait for more debates and then have to decide another stopgap payment.
Cause I'm like I got that.
Fortunately, the savings is good. So.
Yeah, I had a lot more in my savings before my furnace. So I'm a little more worried than I would have been. But I'm like, should I cancel Resident Evil 3 pre-order? I mean, I still have my job right now, but it's like the $60 is gonna make or break me one way or the other. But it'd be nice to have entertainment in case I got to cancel like Netflix and Amazon, just to save whatever I can if it gets to that point. And
right.
it's like, I just got to start thinking about things I hadn't had to think about in a long time. So, but anyway, we can get to some gaming. There's a lot to talk about. And the first thing we might as well talk about, is the second best game to come out on Friday.
Are we going to start with Doom?
No, Animal Crossing. Seems like everybody's really enjoying it. Metacritic, I think, is 91 or 90. 90 or 91 still for Animal Crossing. I hate that.
That's how we got to talk now, yeah.
I really don't. I really wish, I don't know. It's not the worst in the world, but every review I've watched where they played the soundbite of the talking, I'm not a fan of that, but it's a minor. It's a
God,
minor
that's
thing.
just greatness, dude. That's
Nah.
just greatness.
It's
I
got
like-
better voice acting in Xenoblade 2.
That's why
How
he doesn't like
dare you.
Banjo Kazooie.
How fucking
I
dare
like
you?
the talking because something a lot of people don't even notice that they're actually legit talking.
Yeah,
It's just
they're
really
worded.
sped up. It's
Oh, is
just
it?
the actual phrase.
Yeah,
Even when you do their names, you can hear the letters. It goes, hey.
Yeah, when you're
Yeah.
typing.
It's greatness, dude. It's fucking great.
I mean, yeah, I was gonna look at the Metacritic, but yeah, it seems people are really liking it. It seems like they didn't just push out some low tier effort game, you know, like they
Some
really
Yoshi's Crafted World. That he
yeah,
just
like
pushed
this is
up now.
this feels like a real
Yoshi.
AAA type
I'll
game.
tell you what's crazy is that I saw a report come out and they said that they've been working on this since New Leaf finished.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
They said they
Wow.
started. Yeah.
Well, they've got
pretty
sidetracked
soon
with
after
some
New
other.
Leaf.
Didn't they?
I mean, I could see that.
No,
That sounds
I
like
mean,
you're not sure about
when
it.
did New Leaf come out?
But it can't, but the thing is, it
11?
probably wasn't. You
No,
know
it's
what?
13.
It probably wasn't full development though. You know what I'm saying? Like they were working on Splatoon and stuff too. Like I just don't know if
You
it was
mean
far enough.
conceptually?
Like,
You mean like they're
once
working
in a
on
while doing
concepts,
some
not
ideas
necessarily the
up.
whole game yet?
Yeah, I doubt they were working on that. I mean, maybe, but
What's
like,
up with
but
these
what about
user
Splatoon
scores, though?
1 and 2? What about Splatoon 1 and 2? You know what I'm saying?
What are the user scores?
6.4 out of 10
For what?
for Animal
Haters
Crossing.
probably ain't even got the
Well,
game.
reason though.
I guarantee you, it's
I
Doom
probably
Eternal.
wasn't happy with their
bandwidth, bro.
10th or something.
I heard it did. I mean, certain games do get review bombed. So
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, what is Zero? This
There's no
review can't
reason in the
spoil.
world
Click
to
to
give this game.
expand.
what another? There was another Nintendo game that got review bombed.
yeah. Let's see what their
Astral
zeros
Chain.
are. That's the thing. I never look at user reviews because it's
Just
it's
fuck
only
them, that's
tens
all.
or zeros. That's all it is. It's 10 and zeros, bro, all the time. So they balance out to a
Astral
5.
Here, I think this is a funny. I think
Wow.
this is a 0 out of 10. Like many of the reviewers, I've run into the problem where any progress I have is gated by the first resident of the island. My wife played the game when I first came in the mail on Friday, now over the weekend, and into this week, I have not been able to get the ladder to explore our island, and she has not done the mandatory quests that she can only complete. I have lost any ability to progress in the game and lost complete interest in the game due to a progression or purpose in playing. What the hell is he talking about?
Aw.
I guess you know what? You know what I'm looking
He
at?
just
I
wants
think
to
a
do
lot of people
everything right
don't
away.
like what.
Oh, it's because you have to wait till the
I'm just
next
saying, he just
day.
wants to do- he
Yeah,
just wants to do
there
it-
is like an
yeah.
online gate I noticed where like
No,
you have
no,
to do
what-
like one full day, and then after the first day, you get like access to the online features. That's what I heard.
I think
Well,
what they might be talking
yeah.
about actually is something I'm experiencing with my children because
I think
we're
that's what
playing,
it is. Yeah, yeah.
we're
What
playing it
Jason, what
together.
he's saying.
So what's happening is like for example today I was getting ready to get 3 new villagers to come to my island, and then what you have to do is basically put the houses where you want to put them on whatever location, and then basically Tom Nook says, "Yeah, man, I can't afford it. Can you like get all the material and build their houses?" So you have to do that. Now you have to basically get furniture into their house and furniture outside of their house, and to do that, you get the ingredients across the islands, wherever, and make the furniture. But what I noticed is that even though when I go to the where the house is going to be, I look at the list and it says, right, you need 3 of these and 3 of these. When my daughters, I said, girls, you can help me build all this stuff to save daddy having to do it. When they went to the property and looked to get the ingredients, it didn't show them. It just says you have to speak to Jason, Jason being me. And I was like, what? You need to speak to me in order to see what you need to build for this house. So they couldn't essentially
See the
participate-
ingredients.
see the ingredients. They could only participate if I told them in the real world what they were. So in terms of local play, I'm definitely discovering a lot of things that disable users. If you're not that person on there playing at that time, or you haven't unlocked something, then there's essentially no instruction for you to work out what you need to do or how you need to get those extra ingredients. So I got like loads of. I can do the ladder now. I can build the ladder. I can build all this stuff, but they don't have this stuff. And then when they talk to the people who I spoke to, they don't give them anything. So I'm still trying to work out how my girls are going to progress the same as I'm progressing in terms of learning stuff and getting things.
Yeah, this review says that same thing. It says, I'd love
yeah, I
to.
think that's what they're talking about. So in terms of local play, yeah, there's a lot of handicaps at the moment that I'm noticing.
It says, whoever
Wow.
plays first is the only character able to progress further into the game. Every account that plays after has zero control over the game is limited by the first player's
Yeah,
progress.
pretty much. So it's kind of like
Oh,
almost like
okay.
because I initiated it, it's almost like I'm the mayor, and then everyone else is just a little attachment. But like I said, they don't get given any instructions how to get the ladder, how to get these additional items, and all
So
these.
they'd have to
It's-
play as your character in order to have you progress in the game if they're playing while you were away. Like they can only do like basic, probably seems like pointless stuff.
I'm confused on the whole how the local.
Yeah, I
That's-
just think
they
it's
play-
only affecting local play, group local play.
Do they play?
It's so
How are they
strange.
playing? Like that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, you guys playing on the same Switch?
Yeah,
No,
you-
yeah, that would be
you-
local play, wouldn't it?
No,
No,
you
no,
have to
no,
play. Yeah, so we're all playing on the same Switch because you can only have one island per Switch.
Right.
And
And so you're
whoever-
on the same Switch, but you're playing as different villagers.
we're playing as different villagers, so they got their own little characters. I got my own character, but for the most part, I've obviously, because I'm more experienced with the game, I know what I'm doing. I'm essentially initiating everything: the creation of the museum, the creation of the shops, the inclusion of new villagers into the village. But when I do these things, if I initiate it, I'm the only one who is essentially in full control to really impact.
So it sounds like they should have just took away the local multiplayer. Like, what's the point of having 8 people on your island if they can't do
The
anything?
problem,
No,
the
it's
problem
straight-
is
it's
that you
straight-
can't go. If you could go split screen, and everyone could just run off in a direction and do whatever they want, you wouldn't need a leader in the village. When you're all playing together, someone has to be the leader.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and when that person is the leader,
They're the only one who can pick up stuff, right?
no, everyone can pick up stuff, but it all goes to the leader.
The leader's the only one who's able to control
They
anything.
can't pick up anything for themselves. It all comes to me. So we have to keep on swapping over, taking turns to say, I'm the leader. Okay, let's go fishing now. Now, this only affects in terms of like picking up items and stuff. When it comes to getting nook miles, in terms of, I just caught 10 fish, Lara just caught 10 fish or whatever, they can get the nook miles for that. But in terms of items and everything, whoever is the leader, it all goes to them.
The local play with the progression stuff, then it sounds really weird because New Leaf didn't have that problem at all. I
No.
feel the progression blocking or anything. The only difference in New Leaf is that the mayor had some control, like town ordinances, some shit. And I think where the projects went, but that's about it. It didn't block any progress. It sounds like a step back from what New Leaf used
What
to
if
do.
they're-
I think it's only affecting the major projects in terms of who
Yeah,
initiates.
well, that's the thing.
They can
Because
still
it's
put
the
stuff
early
in the
days.
village.
It
They can
sounds
put their own fences. They can do up their house. They can do all of that stuff. They can put stuff out onto the island. If they want to build a Statue of Liberty, they can put that on the island. That's that's not progression blocked in any way.
And
That's-
that's why
they can do that.
basically what he's saying is just like I know Juice, like the whole thing is like one of the first things you do is to build a museum. But yeah, I mean, if you can't technically, if it's he's not playing, they can't do it, and I think it's pretty weird. Like they should have just had it where
How did they miss that?
anyone that literally is on the island can just contribute to the island. Continue the progress.
You should be able to give them
and-
permission, like give
and-
one person, maybe your oldest daughter, say, hey, this person's allowed to, gather and stuff and build stuff, but
No, but
even-
you
Well,
could
Clock
build
had
it, dude.
Clock had mentioned it.
not the main building of the island. And
And
that's,
Clock had mentioned it when we were playing online together, where when we were playing online together, me, Robert, and Clock, that we were like playing, I think at Clock's place, but then it worked the way it technically should, where we all got our own things and everything. It's weird that they made it differently for local.
So it sounds like
because then we've all got our own screen, our own TV, and
Mhm.
we're all in full control. We can go anywhere without relying on any other people being in that same vicinity.
Yeah.
When you're on the one TV on the one island, if anyone runs off screen, they pop back up next to the leader. Someone has to be the leader in order to move the camera.
It just
because
sounds
no one
like a
else can
game
use
that
the
wasn't it wasn't really designed to be played like that. That sounds like something they added, maybe tacked on later, to have every people.
Ironically enough, that's not even what's causing the review bombing. I just looked it up. You know what
Yeah,
it
it's
is?
people.
It's
Yeah, I
because
just read it
it's
too.
because of locking. It's because of Nintendo's decision to lock one island per Switch.
But I
That's
think
the-
that that's I think
That's
that's
the
their
that's the and
That
that's
ties
pretty much
into
the
this
reason
too.
though.
yeah, and that's
Like
because
that's why.
that's causing this issue that like we are. I think we called that out as soon as it was announced. Like, why can't you have two profiles?
I said it on Twitter because at the end of the day, Animal Crossing is still a very personal game. You can play with other people just off and on every now and then just for a little bit of fun, but in terms, it's still a very single player focused.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. It's best.
It is. So that's
Yeah.
why I was saying, you are essentially disabling people's fun when you're restricting everyone to that one island. And I can't see any excuse why you could not have had, even if you had to put in another bloody SIM card or something, an SD card, right? If they had to do it like that, someone has to put an SD card or whatever, yeah, and it syncs up somehow, then fine. But to restrict everyone in the house to have to be, and then also to restrict everyone once things are started activating, it's just not working, as well as it should. Nowhere
Right.
near it.
Yeah.
Didn't you say one of your daughters got a Switch Lite, or was that somebody else?
Yeah, she has, but then at the end of the day, I've already got the one physical game,
Yeah.
and right now I'm not forking out another.
Well, I
50
mean, she could start though. I mean, you could,
on another copy.
while you're playing something else, can she put that in her Switch Lite
Yeah,
and start her own island?
Yeah, but to be fair, she's enjoying the little time that she's doing playing on our island. She's got a house now. She's built it from the tent. She's got a house, and she's doing other little things. And they can still contribute to the museum. They can still dig up fossils and all that stuff. But in terms of collecting material, because I initiated it, all I can say to them in the real world is, girls, can you any lumber, any twigs, anything like that? I need this much to build that. You can help me do that. I mean, essentially, I could do it all by myself, which is what I've done to get these 3 new villagers into my village, and to build the first bridge. I've done that all by myself because I could do it, in snap like that if I wanted to. But because I'm sharing this one island with my girls, I'm trying to include them in these big projects. So yeah.
All right, so get out with that out of the way. I was kind of surprised. I didn't know there was any issues, but and I saw one where it's just complaining about having stuff locked behind, having to wait a day. That's just the fundamental
But
Animal Crossing.
That's Animal Crossing, yeah.
Also, people figured out a way to cheat it because you can change the Switch's clock. So
but that was with any Animal Crossing.
Yeah,
That was
that's what they refer to that time travel. Like the old games had that too.
yeah.
You could do that with every game.
What
but
happens when you change it
think
back,
if you
though?
do that, if you do that, shame on fucking you. God damn it! It's all about the whole point of the game is to to take it easy, bro.
Yeah, but people are impatient.
Yeah, no, people are.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't.
I had friends who got it the same day, and that's literally they were talking about. Yeah, I'm gonna switch my Switch clock. I'm like, you tell me you can't wait a day?
You
No.
won't have the
It does have some risks, Juice. At least the old game. I'm going to assume it's kind of the same, where you first of all your save game could get erased or bugged when you do that shit. That's a small chance, but there's a big chance, at least especially later on, where your villagers would just be gone because of the fact that you time travel.
That's what happened to me.
Yeah, often villages, I don't know how it is here yet because everybody's just starting, but there's a specific time period how it works with the programming, and villagers can announce that they're leaving, and then a specific time passes and they're gone. When you time travel, it bypasses all of that, and a random villager can just fucking be gone, and you can't get that back, even if you time travel back.
Well, let's focus on you guys' actual positive enjoyment of the game. Like I was saying, for everything I've seen, it definitely feels like they put in full effort with this game. It wasn't a Yoshi or a Kirby type thing. And so, what do you guys? How are you enjoying it? How much have you played it? What's your favorite part about it? What's the best new addition type stuff? So, Robert, why don't you go first?
Oh my god, the game is phenomenal. It's literally one of the greatest games of all time ever in this fucking planet. It's unbelievable. Like honestly, like the addition straight off the bat, the addition of the Nook Miles is game changing as fuck, because now it's just like you never want to put the fucking controller down because there's always something to do every second of the time. Like literally, it's insane. Like I see people talking about, oh, I don't know what else to do. What about the giant catalog of Nook Miles, bro, that to collect? There's so many challenges and different things, and I love the starting from scratch. Starting from scratch is just an awesome idea. And
It's weird anyway that some people think like there's no lot to do. I feel compared to all other Animal Crossings from the
there's so
beginning
much.
on,
There's
there's a
so
lot to do, and you get a lot of big shit. And see, like a bridge, you had to wait like fucking months to get a
Yeah.
bridge in the previous game, and now you get bridges, animals. You can instantly travel. It's like you get a lot instantly. So if people want even more than this, you gotta go buy Doom or some shit.
No, if people want more than this, they just don't like Animal Crossing. And you know
You
what?
enjoy Doom too?
No, but
What
the
was
whole
that?
what?
You can enjoy Doom too. What the hell is that?
yeah. No, dude, also really.
Y'all
good.
should be used to Retro's hot takes. I don't understand what the problem is. I'm just saying, like, this ain't nothing new.
So far, I've
Doom.
played.
Animal Crossing, bitches.
Right now, I put on Twitter. I think I've probably played about 50 something hours already.
I
And
think
Jesus.
Quit cutting him off, Retro. This is his time. You'll get yours.
Jesus Christ.
Now shut the fuck up.
I played like 50 something hours, like literally every single day. I just been playing like 10 hours a minimum. It's just, and every second I've just been loving everything. The villagers have really good dialogue this time around, where they'll comment on what you're holding, what you're wearing, what they're standing beside. All that minor details just add up to just that perfect game where city folk, as much as I loved it, I could recognize that it was limited in that it was really just almost a port of Wild World. But I didn't know that because I didn't play Wild World during the time. But this one is just built upon New Leaf and like triple the size of it. It's unbelievable, and I had so much fun.
So would
with it
you
over
say
there.
that this feels like an actual console Animal Crossing, and they didn't stay?
Oh no, yeah,
they
they did not say they weren't safe with it. You know what I mean? They weren't safe with it, and they definitely. This is the Breath of the Wild Animal Crossing, where I guess not to that extreme,
The
but
museum looks like the Breath of the Wild of Animal Crossing.
the museum's definitely the Breath of the Wild of museums for Animal Crossing, because that museum is
What are we
so
saying
gorgeous.
right now?
It's so gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. I love it because they have it's like a real museum where in the fossil part they have like all the villager like silhouettes, and it'll point to almost where it's like where their ancestors used to be, and it shows like the
Yeah.
saber tiger. It's phenomenal, and it is such a great job at that. And the main gameplay loop of Animal Crossing, it's so good, and they expanded upon it. And right now I have I'm about to pay off my house for the third time, I believe. And it's it's not well designed right now because I don't have a lot of furniture, but it's
Oh, he's one of those guys.
for what I have right now, it's pretty good, and I can't wait to see what happens tomorrow. Well, tomorrow I'm about to get my resident services. Well, actually, it's going to close down, and then they're going to open the building of resident services, and I can't wait because that's when the hourly music starts. So
Just to
it's
add
weird
on
that they
really
lock the
quickly-
hourly music.
that was super strange to me. Yeah.
Just to add on to the detail thing really quickly, this is something I just noticed, by the way, because I just got rain for the first time. My window gets rain droplets streaking down slowly sometimes. And,
Yeah.
like does it need to do that? No. That's a really cool detail.
I saw an amazing thing on Twitter just now. I think I liked it. Where someone had some flowers in their house, and then they had like a fan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool detail.
Or also like just even the minor stuff where the villagers do things now. They don't just stand around.
Right.
They'll walk around. They'll sit down. They'll read books, and it's cool because every time you go to Tom Nook and he's reading a book, and the way he closes it and puts it away, I'm just like, yes.
Yeah, he's like
every time I
looks
watch
up
that.
and smiles at you. Is like, oh,
Yep.
I didn't see you
It's
there,
like-
type of thing, you know?
Yeah, it's so good. I love that. But I guess if you want to go
All right,
retro,
yeah. If, retro, I'll let you talk now. Robert, feel free to interrupt him any chance you get. No.
I didn't interrupt them on purpose just because of the lag, I think, because of the stream. I legit wait till people stop talking.
And yeah, there's
Um,
definitely not showing up in the feed for some reason.
yeah, I don't know.
Told you, man.
Not
I'll
sure.
give like a little different answer, just one that befits me more. One of my favorite things, as lame as that might be to somebody who doesn't play Animal Crossing, one of my favorite things is because Clark did mention it in a little bit, is the wind in the game. I like it that when you're walking around, you can have like a small breeze and the trees are like blowing in the wind and shit. And then a little bit later it picks up and the wind goes so strong it's almost like a storm. But it doesn't just affect the trees and the weeds. Like there's some characters who have like clothes, for example, that like blow in the wind and shit. The whole game just feels a lot more immersive thanks to that. And I guess from that perspective, I can understand the Breath of the Wild aspect that Robert mentioned, where everything just feels a lot more complete. And like the animals, they do more, they interact with more stuff and everything. And I just feel like, same with what he said with the rain, it affects more like little things. Like if you shake a tree, like water drops down and everything. Like it just became a lot
So
more
it's not a static world. It's not a dead,
yeah, exactly.
static Horizon Zero Dawn world.
Oh no.
That I mean, like
You can climb in this game.
you can.
Well, with ladders.
Oh, it was like I was
Yeah.
saying about how Mario Kart 8. Like when we're talking about what the benefits of next gen being more than just raw graphics, but the little details Nintendo loves to throw into their games, like when Mario's mustache was blowing in the wind and in Mario Kart 8, and just the little
yeah,
stuff like that. When it add it all up, it's like it just adds so much overall just to the atmosphere. I know retro loves atmosphere, so
There's also something they added that I think, especially like the purists that liked, because some people they like the original Animal Crossing on the GameCube or 64, however you want to put it, where the camera was a lot from above and it made people feel more like they were in a forest. And in this game, I like it that you can actually change the camera angle while you're playing, so you can feel more like you're in a forest. You have more freedom when you're walking outside.
Yeah, they have it. Yeah, they have it where it's like the original, the cylinder, the type of globe, the circular type planet, but then you could also have it more GameCube style, which is the over the head.
Yeah.
So it's cool. They give both styles,
now is
And
the game
I always switch between the two. I will admit, just always looking at different, ways.
does the game look as good in person, like playing it, as it does on YouTube? Because it looks
Oh, it's fun. No, I literally okay. So I will. There's so like the sunset. Like I look at this game and I'm just like, I feel like this is so close to CG, man. We're getting so close. It's so unbelievable. Like I was looking at it and I'm just like, fuck, man, God.
Can you remember when we all went to Retro's Village the first time and we were like, yo, look at the sunset, yo. let's go to the top of the mountain. Let's go and have a look. Yeah. Oh.
you definitely never said that in an Animal Crossing game before, I'm guessing.
Oh no, yeah, definitely not.
It's really so fucking clean, the game. It's crazy.
Yeah, like even just the villagers themselves when they have it when it's getting like during different times where just like, damn, that skin looks clean, bro. It looks clean. and the the texture work on the all the animals and stuff. It
The
looks
individual leaves on the trees.
yeah, it looks clean.
So does it look better than Animal Crossing Plaza on Wii U?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It definitely does.
I just came off of that and it destroys that. Like
Oh yeah.
it looks way better than that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
just to
People were
stay the
excited
same,
about
because you
that.
asked like how much I played still, I'll finish my part on that. I'm literally not joking because of the quarantine and shit. I get up, I turn it on. I have dinner somewhere during the day, and then I turn it off and I go to bed. It's legit on
Exactly, yeah,
when I'm awake.
Yeah, man.
God, on the 3DS on New Leaf in the beginning, I had forced myself to play for like 30 minutes before I felt like I was nothing I could do till the next day. But that I didn't barely get. I mean, I had my
Well,
house.
that's why I keep saying that these Nook Miles are a huge game changer.
They're great.
Yeah.
A massive game changer.
All right, we don't want to spend a whole hour on this game, so just any
No.
other
Yeah, we do.
whoever else has played it, any other
I
things to
haven't had
add?
my say yet. No fair.
Just things to add. You don't need to re-say anything.
Yeah, I mean, just from my point of view, I think what's amazing is that this is the first. I mean, we've been essentially playing Animal Crossing on between the N64 and the GameCube in terms of quality, because that's what the series has been stuck between, the GameCube and the N64. You had
Yeah.
the GameCube version, then you had
DS.
City Folks, which looked like a GameCube version, tiny, incy wincy bit better. Then you had the DS version. Then you had the 3DS version, which looked between the DS and the game between the
Wii.
N64, the GameCube, and the Wii and stuff. So I mean, we talked about the Animal Crossing Plaza and stuff. How we'd love to see Animal Crossing in HD, and this is one of those Wii U moments where we were all like, I cannot wait to see Nintendo in HD for the first time. And this is what's happened to Animal Crossing now. This is the first time we are actually seeing this game in HD for the first time, just like when we first saw Mario Kart 8, and Breath of the Wild, and all these games, or like Wind Waker, even Wind Waker HD. We were like, oh my god, this is why we're begging for like wave race and stuff like that, because when Nintendo, the fact that Nintendo hasn't been in HD still for so many of their IPs, and it's not just HD. It's elevating now, using the power of current consoles now to do things that the previous ones couldn't do. And when they do it, you're like, fuck, this is what we've been waiting for. This is literally
Yeah,
what
because we still got Metroid, never been in
We've
HD.
never seen it. Wave Race, F-Zero, Pilot. We can list and list.
You
and
probably
list.
won't see any of those.
It's like people saying
One day,
people
it'll
say,
come
like,
one day.
give me a port of Kid Icarus Uprising on the 3DS. No, you don't want a port of that shit. You want a brand new next gen Kid fucking Icarus on the Nintendo Switch, because it will blow the 3DS game out of the water. And you'd be like, why did I even want to ask for that game? That game was trash compared to this.
We're just trying to get what we can get, man.
Yeah.
And what's
So,
up, Mizatide89? He said he just jumped in to say hi. So what's up?
What's happening?
Yo.
Yeah, and I bet like Nintendo used Animal Crossing Plaza. I bet they used some of those models, because I'm pretty sure every character from Animal Crossing is in that plaza, and I'm pretty sure that they wouldn't just throw that away. I'm sure they used that and then they bumped it up on Switch.
Yeah.
But if you go look at it.
I mean, all the small details we could talk about. We could talk about quality of life. Some people won't know. You can't pump people up about quality of life things in series that they've never really been thing. But I mean, just this game has just opened up in every way that you wanted Animal Crossing to open up, and the fact now that we do have two currencies. It's not just Nook. We have three currencies essentially. It's Nook Miles Plus, and Bells. And the Nook Miles Plus are the daily things that you can do all day, every day, and they'll keep on racking up. And
it never stops. Yeah, that's
Never
why.
stops.
That's why you could continue playing every second of your life.
Well, and then you got your main Nook Miles, which are going to take us years to complete.
Yeah, years,
Some people. And then you've got your Bells now, which are being used for everything else. That's some of the prices on some of the stuff. I think obviously they bumped up these prices because, to be honest, when you get an Animal Crossing game, you want to be playing it for a while. And it should be lasting a while, because you don't want to just see one season once. It's not how it works. It's like the World of Warcraft. You jump a line, you don't want to just go to Brewfest once, because you can't get all the Brewfest items straight away. And also it's an event, a yearly event, an experience that you like coming back to once a year, because everyone's there all at the same time. And the fact that like me, Retro, and Rob already jumped into into our villages together, the little cutscenes in between, I'm sure it'll get annoying first off, but when you first do it, it's just great, smooth as silk. And you're just having a great time, and we can make up our own games and just have fun. And we're gonna visit each other's villages again now that we've pimped them up.
I can't lie. Seeing that photo that Retro posted, I was like, man, am I going to buy this game? Or
because you just have stupid fun. You just have stupid fun. We were laughing at each other, just sitting on a fucking bench.
We're sitting on a bench.
Stupid shit like that. But, it's
and we can still... and we can still message each other now. Now we visit each other. I'm on and I see like Clockit comes on. I can shoot him a message like, "Hey, I'm playing the stock market. I need to sell these turnips. You know, I bought them for $100. Like, how much are they going in your town and shit? You know, you can like work with each other and like talk. Like, you don't
That's
need to do
crazy.
anything else. Like in-game talking.
That a
Yeah,
game.
somebody. I went to Jamie. Some of you guys may know him. Jamie Butterworth used to have a channel. I went to. He still does. He just doesn't post anymore. I went to his town. This is funny. And I was trying to chat with him, and I still hadn't figured out like, what button to press to bring the chat up. And he was in the middle of a trade with another guy. He had wood on the ground, and I accidentally picked the wood up. And so he thought that I snatched his wood, and he like kicked me out of his town. I didn't even know you could do that. When he booted me out, I was like, because I was fumbling with the chat, trying to figure out, like, how to get back to him, let him know what happened. And but he booted me after I had given him his wood back. That's one thing that does kind of bother me, because when you get wood, like you get a bundle of wood or something like that, it goes with your bundle that you already have, and you can't like ration it out unless I'm missing something.
Well, if
can't
you
ration out
You
a
gotta
certain
pick them like
amount.
one by one from the menu.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see, that's
so that's why you could technically separate them. I think it's by tens and ones.
T.
yeah,
So,
but I was
Yeah.
trying to hurry up because I didn't want him to think I just came into this town and just stole his wood and was going to get
Yeah,
out
for
of it.
sure.
T. Does your wife know you've been giving other people wood? Oh.
Also,
But that's another thing. Progression. You mentioned, Clocked mentioned earlier about quality of life. There's some quality of life stuff that's kind of locked behind progression, like the quick menu stuff. You have to
tool ring.
progress to a certain. What's that?
That tool ring, right, for the weapons.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you know what I'm
That's
saying?
locked behind progression instead
Yeah,
of just being
that's
a
just
cool
brutal as
new
fuck.
quality of life thing. That doesn't make sense.
That's pointless.
Yeah.
So obviously, almost every game has something
Yeah, I mean,
you could you would maybe would change, but
I mean, I got it like the first date, you know.
yeah. Well, I couldn't do that. So
I'll let you guys talk about Animal Crossing in the weeks to
Yeah,
come, just like Breath of the Wild. So we're gonna
Oh,
move
for
on.
sure, yeah. Well, like Xenoblade Chronicles X for a little bit. Remember?
oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give you guys my Doom impressions. I posted shared a few videos on Twitter and on my YouTube channel. I honestly, I avoided watching anything. I didn't watch the latest trailers, like, cause they showed it 3 full times. They showed it at QuakeCon, then they showed it at E3. They showed it games. You know, they've been showing this game for a long time. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get it. And I actually slipped down my most anticipated games list because I hadn't really watched anything on it in a while. And so I didn't even watch reviews. I just got the game. I plugged it in. Something happened on my PS4, though. I swore last time I got a game, I could put the disc in, enter rest mode, and come back later in the day, and it would have all been installed and stuff. But something just didn't work this time. It had to restart the installing off disk after like 2 hours had gone by, so I was a little bummed by that. But it's the first time that's happened. But I put the game in, and you don't have to play the first game. It has nothing to do story wise with the first game. To answer Retro was asking about it, I think before. But honestly, I'm trying to think of the best way to phrase it. My initial way to phrase it doesn't sound right because I was going to say it's the best game I ever played. But what I meant is it's the best playing game I've ever played. It is the controls and the movement of the character. Like Doom 2016 was exceptional, I thought, in that regard. This is to another level. It's so refined. It's just a joy just moving around in the environment. You get the double jump immediately. You don't have to regain that. And I was actually waiting. I didn't hit it twice because I expected to have to get it. You get it right away. They added the grapple where you can grab onto surfaces. You're climbing in a first-person game where it's like, I could see an Uncharted or a Tomb Raider in first person the way that this works, but everything's fast, everything's fluid, and the controls are absolutely flawless. There's not one single. It's just a joy to play. Whether you like the game, like
Even better than Odyssey in terms of controls.
it's the best controlling game I've ever played. It's so flawless. It's so responsive. I mean, Odyssey is in that conversation, but it's just I'm playing with a controller. I mean, I know I'm sure keyboard and mouse first person shooters are probably all pretty similar once you get it dialed in. But as far as dual analog first person, like the platforming is absolutely a joy. Like there's not any moment where I'm like fuck, I'm how do I land on this ledge? Like I gotta look down. Like it's like I remember the first game that was a first person shooter with platforming was Turok Dinosaur Hunter. And I remember how many times I fucking fell trying to jump on those little pillars. You know, we've come a long way since that, and it's the auto ledge grabbing.
That's pretty funny because the people who made Turok went on to make Metroid Prime, and I don't think hardly anyone fell on those platforms.
No, Metroid Prime is definitely the best at that until this. This to me is I don't know how you could top as far as
even with the DualShock 4.
It's absolutely, dude. I don't even think about it being the DualShock 4 because I can't play Rocket League with the DualShock 4. I can't do my aerials because my thumb's in a different angle. But
and the other week you were saying like I can't remember what you posted on. I think Retro was having to go with you as well. But you were saying oh, it's a Resident Evil 3 demo, and you're saying do we even need next gen for this? But you know, from what I've seen of Doom Eternal, the game is looking stunning.
It looks
absolutely stunning.
And the art direction, like I guess I'd seen most of the levels I remember seeing one was in space, like on some kind of ship or something, and the rest was like it looked like a New York downtown with you know hell busting through. I didn't see any levels of like green grass and trees or this. There's an ice where it's not just an ice level. I mean it's steel. It's like there's like castle almost like walls, you know, and then in the distance there's like a castle, but it's all covered in snow. It's just the variety in the first 3 missions, you know, and they're super long. Like I was like, man, is this? It's got to be towards the end. I wasn't even halfway through the second, you know, whatever you want to call it, level mission. The environments are huge. Like there's so much to explore. It still has that Doom 2016 chaos of, you know, go into this area, you got to kill all these demons, you know. To progress for, you know, because I don't know if I'm sure it locks off any doors or anything that you maybe could go through, but you gotta fight for your life. You can't just run, and it's oh man, I honestly I can't think of a more joyful like experience as far as just the actual controls tied to the movement of the character in a first person shooter. It's so good.
Goaty contender.
Oh yeah, I mean
Yeah, I was I played again a little bit of it like a demo essentially. Like I didn't play a lot of it. I got it for PC, and yeah, man, I agree. Of what I played, I was just like, oh shit! Like it felt amazing. Yeah, the controls feel fantastic, and just the movement, the fluidity of this man. It is so fucking nice.
And gotta throw a shout out to, and maybe this, you know, some people will be upset, but the PS4 Pro version actually outperforms more consistently than the Xbox One X version as far as frame rate and smoothness. It's not by much, but it's got it beat. So I know there's some people on YouTube, you know, the greatest YouTubers of all time that think Xbox One X is far and away the way to go, but you know,
yeah, but that's a patch.
when you're the lead platform, when you're the lead, where developers are developing on your platform specifically, then there's some benefits.
Is it the developer's fault or is it the machine's fault?
Developer. I mean, yeah, there's no reason the Xbox One X version shouldn't be
There's
locked.
no reason it should be.
Except they're trying to push more pixels. That's, you know, trying to get the most out. But anyway, I thought, you know, I was a little worried. I don't know, I never said anything, but it was like number 4 on my most anticipated list a while back. I did. Because I was just like, you know, environments look a little too big, and you know, maybe I won't have the same feel. But man, just that the variety of areas I've explored already, it's like, man, it's like a different game each. It's like a whole new game as far as from a visual design standpoint. Each time
this is what I said, wasn't it? On I think we were talking on Hangouts, whatever. And I was shocked that if you didn't tell me that was a Doom game in some areas, then it wouldn't look like Doom to me, you know, with a grassy hills and
Yeah,
all
I
this
mean,
stuff.
if someone was like, "This is Metroid Prime 4," and changed the gun to one that maybe looked like an arm cannon,
Yeah.
because the plasma gun, I guess, looks a little different.
So
But
I mean, those are only my real concerns. My two concerns is, does it still look like a Doom game, and also, I think my grumbles with the Doom. I hate calling it Doom 2016. This is why they should have just fucking
gave it
numbered
a
almost.
different name. Yeah,
Yeah.
But the fact that I got a bit bored with the repetition of the kills and the arena-based nature of the battles and stuff. But if they've completely opened it up now, so it doesn't
yeah.
feel
It
like
feels
it's
more like Metroid Prime's, where you go in a room. Oh, you got to fight these space pirates. For the first time, you go in there and then you have to kill them to maybe unlock something to go further. Of course, you come back in the room and they come back later on, but every time you visit the room. But it just feels more like that because the way the environments are so open, you don't feel like it's not the same as the Doom 2016, where it's like, all right, go in the room, find the thing, rip this portal thing, whatever you want to call it,
yeah, like the eyeball thing.
the eyeball pussy thing. You rip that off and then you have to fight. Like, you still have to fight for your life, but the areas where you those are just challenge rooms. I had the second video I uploaded, and I'm playing on ultra violent difficulty, which is 1 up from the default, and it kicked my ass. I was like, holy shit. I beat it on my 3rd try, but that shit was intense, man. It's
Why were you so? Why is this? I can hear people like talk about the difficulty, and I look at the character. He seems to be able to grapple and whiz around, climb up anything. Ammo doesn't seem to be too much of an issue again, which is like killing people.
I mean, early on you have limited because guns.
Okay.
You got to upgrade.
So what makes it difficult? Is it just the toughness of the enemies? I know you have to, like, some enemies can only be killed with certain things.
Well, there's not. The difficulty is just they're fast, and they're relentless, and there's a lot of them, especially on that's what the higher difficulty gives you. There's more of them. So I'm like, I got halfway through and I'm like, all right. And then all of a sudden they throw out 3 of the toughest enemies that I was currently dealing with. Now there's 3 of them, and I'm like, holy shit. And they're just nonstop. You can't go hide in a corner.
So
Like,
it feels like a bit like a horde mode sometimes.
yeah, almost. But they're just so fast, and like I said, just moving, you can jump. You can get away. Like, half your time you're retreating, half the time you're shooting, and it's like if you stand still, just like in the last one, you're gonna die. I don't know, man. It's just everything I loved about Doom 2016 and more, in a more even more tighter controls, and it's
Sounds like they
so
licked
good.
it down. I can't wait
They
to play it.
nailed it.
I'll get around to it eventually. Can't wait.
And I mean, as a Doom purist, you might be like, yeah, that doesn't look like Doom. I don't know if 2016 looked like Doom to you, but I like the variety of the environments. I love that
It's kind of like the same mentality as if you're going into like the new Tomb Raider games. This doesn't feel like the Lara Croft before. Can I accept the new? If the new is good, then great. If the new isn't as good or you miss some things, then that's only where the grumbles come in, right?
You'd probably like the more, it's not really maze-like, but there's a lot more to getting through the level. It's not so straightforward this time. It's not. Last time it was all the bonus stuff that was the platforming exploration. A lot of that was just the bonus stuff if you really wanted. This time it's the actual level itself. You have to jump these huge gaps, use your air dash, grapple, hit the right trigger down, click it down to grapple on the surface, climb up, turn around with your camera and jump off. Like, once you get the hang of it, it's so well. Every not really mechanic, but every system in the game, every ability is so well tied together that it's like it's almost
because parkour can be quite hard to do in games. Well, some games have done it, well and and good. Like Mirror's Edge and Brink, and Brink and stuff like that. Brink multiplayer quite a bit. I mean, they all have their issues and stuff, but parkour in first person can be difficult to achieve. It's you got
Titanfall 2.
Yeah,
Titanfall 2. I mean, to me this is better. You don't have the running on the walls, but it's a little bit tighter overall. The character movement's faster and feels a little more, and it just feels better to me.
I can believe that because we need to, it's like I feel like sometimes like Bungie and and these guys, they get so much credit because we brought Halo to consoles and we got twin sticks working on consoles really well and stuff. But it doesn't mean, or like even like the Call of Duty guys, it doesn't mean that they're the pinnacle of what can be done in terms of a developer for the first person game. And I've said that before, where is Call of Duty really the best? And can't another developer surely come along and do better? And I completely believe that they can. It's kind of like with FIFA as well. Why is FIFA the only football game essentially on the market? I bet there is another company out there who
Well, there
could do a
was the
football game.
PES. Wasn't PES technically
PES,
better?
I played that more than FIFA.
They were great. I think they were at their height back in the PS2 days compared to now.
Speaking of the 2K just got the ability to
Now
make
they're
a
just
football
POS,
game.
huh?
They can make a football game now. They just can't make a simulation football game.
That was
Which is
another
some
thing,
weird
with
shit.
basketball. I mean, T will know
Yeah,
this.
talk
With
about that
basketball
later.
games, like the 2K series on Dreamcast and stuff. Even I played those, and I preferred those over what EA were doing the 2K series back then. Companies can do it, and we're talking about id
I preferred Blitz.
software here. They've done Rage, they've done all this stuff. It's
I'd love to see them bring Quake back, even if it's going to be. It doesn't have to play just like Doom. You don't have to have the glory kills and stuff, but just have that movement ability, and
well, someone said that this Doom is like a mix between
kind of does feel more like a
Quake game and
They released a Quake game in like it was
the
a few years
PC only. Yeah, it was a kind of a
it's
weird thing.
forgotten.
But yeah, anyway, like if you had any interest or enjoyed 2016 at all, this one's just, it's better in every single way. And it's like 2 games in a row I bought that are sequels, to games. Well, one was 2015, the other was 2016. Ori and the Will of the Wisp. I mean, they improved upon, other than the shitty Xbox One S version of the game. The PC version's really fairly smooth for me, and it's just like, yeah, that it feels like Ori, the previous one, but they just refined it just that little bit more, so the controls are just like, they're even better than they were before. They took out a few annoyances, and so now I got 2.
It's only fairly smooth on PC.
Well, I'm
Still some issues.
I haven't tried dropping the resolution down to 1080 to see if it fixed it at all, but it's like it's night and day better than that video I posted on Twitter, that tweet where just to bring up the map took like almost 8 seconds on Xbox One S. It's instant on PC.
Ridiculous.
And then I'm just climbing up, and then it had 2 different like pauses for no reason. Like, and I get with all the shit going on, and maybe they didn't want to delay it for whatever. I just that's unacceptable. I thought, here, I got this game, I can play on my TV when I want, when I'm on my downstairs. Maybe I'll play it on PC, and then when I get a Series X, maybe if I want to play through it again, I'll be able to take advantage of that. But it's unplayable on the fucking Xbox One S, and that's only half the issue. The other half, it just looks fucking terrible. It looks, not to make a joke, but it literally looks like what I expect the Switch version to look like if they made it. Like
Who do they think they are? Bethesda?
it looks worse than Ori, way worse than Ori and the Blind Forest does on the Switch, and I just don't understand why it's so blurry. Like, it's just a bad version of the game, and I would dare say it's gimped. It's a gimped version.
Oh.
But yeah. So and then getting back to what Clackett said, Resident Evil 3 demo, that came out. Anybody download that and check it out?
Yeah, I played it.
I haven't yet.
What do you think?
All right.
Too damn short. That was like the first thing I thought. It was like it was weird. I thought I was taking my time. It only took me like 30 minutes.
Well, that's pretty long though for a demo.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was just right. I definitely wanted to keep playing.
It aggravated me because it stops right before like the first, like, I guess, major sequence with Nemesis.
Did you get killed by Nemesis?
I didn't.
Really? I tried to go back in the way I came in, and he came in, busted through, and fucking killed me.
Why'd y'all go back? It was obvious you're supposed to run.
Because I didn't want to face him yet. Because I had there was an area that I was gonna go, and I didn't know which door to go. I was like, I'll go through this door, then I'll go over here afterwards. And I was like, shit,
coward.
Maybe I can run from him. Nope.
No, of course not.
So how did you? How did it feel to you compared to Resident Evil 2?
Bruh, it was weird because I saw people struggle with the quick dodge, and I got it like 3 times in the first go round. So I was feeling pretty confident. I mean, obviously the anxiety of the kind of, it's weird. Even though you're outside, you're still like constantly surrounded by the zombies and everything, and they're like way more aggressive than like 2 was. where like you could be in a completely different room, and 2 did this too, but it wasn't like 3 zombies coming out like banging on the door, all coming in at once, and I was like, oh, all right, this is different. You need to kill all these fuckers.
Yeah,
And
because I was like, I'm gonna go over here, and the fricker followed me and busted open the door. I'm like, really? Like, I mean, that happened in 2 as well.
yeah, but
figured-
it didn't feel. It was like 1 zombie here. It's like 2. Like I got into a situation where I think if you go in the convenience store and you go around the back end, there's like some bullets and like some gunpowder.
Mhm.
And like I turned the corner and this motherfucker's like right on me. And then I turn, and so I duck him and I try to walk out the convenience store. Oh, no, there's the other one. And they're all just kind of huddling towards me. And I'm like, all right, game, I get it. I get it. Jesus
I don't know
Christ.
what the X, when you have to rapidly hit X, what that achieves.
Oh,
They
that
still bite you.
it lessens damage.
Okay.
So like if you get tackled by a zombie, if you hit X, you will take less damage from that bite. Which is very instrumental when you get swarmed, because it happens. It happened like 2 times to me. Also found out, if you try, that sequence at the beginning where you're first outside and then like the zombies push down that gate
Mhm.
and you're supposed to hit that exploding barrel when they first come towards you.
Yeah.
You can prematurely kill the zombies and it does not make a difference. That cutscene still plays out the same
Oh,
damn
really?
way.
That's
Yeah,
that's kinda
I
lame.
was like, oh, let me see if I can kill the zombies before the cutscene kicks in. It doesn't make a difference. Cutscene comes back on and the same zombies come at you.
Maybe I don't know if that's just for the demo or what.
I'm curious if
I'm
you
betting
can
that's
like.
in the game too.
Oh, is it?
I'm betting it. I mean, I don't know.
That's kind of.
I
I mean,
bet it
that kind of takes
That's
you out of it.
gamey, that's gamey stuff though.
That's
that
very deep.
happens.
But I do know, I can tell how they got this out so quick though, because I've seen the same zombie from the first game. The cars. I mean, it takes place at the same time as Resident Evil 2, so they can get away with
Right.
using a lot of the assets. And it's not a complaint. I can just see how they could get it out quickly, because I was wondering how they got it out so fast. But it just
I'm curious because Nemesis can be a nemesis. Okay, like
Oh, he was a
the
fucking.
the balancing on him was a bit wonky in the original game anyway. So how is he in the demo?
you don't
He's
get it.
su-
He
su-
he can
Go
catch
ahead.
up to you. He can get ahead of you, and
Yeah, he's super fucking aggressive.
Yeah.
He does like this yelling attack that's, I guess, meant as like a stun / stagger. He pretty much will go almost anywhere in the demo except for like save rooms, and there's only like really one, not even a save, I should say safe room, not save rooms, but safe room. Which is one in the restaurant, which is funny because you can still manipulate it. Because he's more aggressive, it's funnier. Like Mr. X would just kind of like, he would disappear after a while. This dude will chase you through the restaurant, but the save room is like the back hall right behind it. So if I turn the corner and walk in, he'll just turn around and walk away. I was like, yeah, it's not meant to be funny because he's meant to scare you. But once people get comfortable with the game and start abusing it, it's pretty hilarious.
I hope he doesn't.
Also,
I hope
go
he
ahead.
doesn't get annoying over time.
He's pretty. Well, you know what makes it hard is that he literally has any way he wants to reach you. He can jump / teleport in front of you. Who has the little, I guess, tentacle arm to pull you in, and then has the fucking yell to stagger you. And then this man's out here swinging like fucking like Muhammad Ali. It's like, damn, give me something.
Yeah.
And you can only down him. He's like X, so you can only like down him for a little bit.
I didn't get the shotgun either. I got to.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I got this.
I like that like video game feel to games though, where they shouldn't be taking themselves too seriously, especially some games, where we're fighting bloody zombies and stuff. It's kind of like with Metal Gear Solid, where even though it's kind of taking itself semi-serious, you can still mess around with the soldier AI, choke them and then run into the cupboard. They get back there and go, who was here? I'll choke them again, go
It
back
makes
into
me
the cupboard.
chuckle.
They stand back up, they go, where'd you go? And all this stuff. You kind of want to have that little bit of play around, I feel.
Yeah, I like when the gamey shit happens. Like I was playing Doom 2016 forever ago, and I remember just like watching the demons fight each other. I was like standing off to the side. One of them started some static, and so one jumped in and the others jumped in, and they were all fighting each other now. I'm just kick it back, let them thin each other out before I walk over there. And it's just gamey stuff that happens. It's just hilarious.
Yeah, that happens in Doom too. You can let some of the more aggressive demons kill the other demons before they see you. So apparently, it's data mined that there was in the Resident Evil 3 demo. There's a file for Nintendo eShop, a directory.
Which
Yeah,
I don't know how I feel about that.
Stream it.
It could be the cloud version, yeah. Could be streaming.
Could be the cloud version, right?
Cloud version, yeah, because
That's what most people. That's what people are thinking. They're gonna do it like they did 7, even though the cloud version for 7 never came out in the States.
No,
it was
it'll
only
be
in
Japan
Japan.
only.
Really well.
But it's an interesting idea that Capcom's willing to play with that.
I mean, if we had the internet,
they can play with these nuts. That's what they can play with.
I mean, I bet.
All right, listen to you. Get off this, man. It's too much aggression towards Capcom.
If they had a server close by, I mean,
Doing well.
I mean, depending on the pricing, you can't do a rental $20 rental bullshit. I mean, that's where it gets weird. But if it was like, hey, you know, if it wasn't on a Nintendo system either, I'd feel better about it. But
here's the full game you can access through the cloud.
It'd almost be like Google Stadia. Like, hey, you buy the game and it'll always be there for you as long as you have internet connection.
What the hell is Google Stadia? That sounds like a disappointment to me.
Yeah, I'm definitely really excited for the final game.
When does that come out again?
April 3rd.
Okay, so next week
it comes out.
So yeah, Google Stadia. I don't know when that comes out.
When does that come out?
Didn't they have some sort of like keynote recently that kind of talked about it? I thought I saw something on Twitter.
Google?
Yeah.
Technically, it's been out since like October or something, hasn't it?
No, I know Stadia's been out. But I mean, I thought they like talked about updates to it.
I don't know. Who cares? We're not talking about that trash.
They fumbled that launch. They fumbled that shit.
But if you look at from Ori to Animal Crossing to Doom, the Half-Life got what 92 or 91 on Metacritic. People are saying it's what VR should have been. Should have been this whole time. Like, and then you got Resident Evil 3.
15-hour campaign. Wow.
Yeah. We got Resident Evil 3 coming out, and then Persona 5 Royal for some reason has a 95 on Metacritic. I don't even know what that is. Is that?
It's essentially like the deluxe edition of the game that came out 2 years ago.
So it's like
people are like Persona. I guess to quickly explain, Persona games always have like a normal version and then like a deluxe version. It's almost like Kingdom Hearts.
Pokemon.
No. Pokemon doesn't. Well, I guess that is. I guess that would.
Is it just the same game with some extra content, or what?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. It's the we didn't sell enough copies version.
Why the fuck is it getting 9.5s though?
Because you gotta understand, Persona for some reason, if you want to talk about overblown like deluxe versions, that Personas is usually it. Like it's that Persona. Hell, Persona 4 Golden is like the best-selling game on the Vita, which I know doesn't say a lot, but like. It's almost insane. And see, I haven't played a deluxe version of a Persona game, so I don't know specifically, but I know this is supposed to have like new story content, new characters, a bunch of different shit. I think I debated on getting it originally. Now I'm kind of like, you know what? I don't think I need another RPG, especially one that I've already.
So you already played the game, didn't you?
Yeah, I played the main game, and I was kind of like, I'm good.
Another 100 hours of it. I mean,
yeah. You'd be surprised how many people would do it, though.
No, I'm talking about you, though.
No, I'm good. I'm still going through Dragon Quest. I'm good.
Either way, there's some. It sucks that all this shit's going on with the virus because this is one of the better month and a half spans as far as just review wise, but just quality of game wise and
I think it's better that it is going on because look, you're at home anyway. You can now enjoy all these games.
It just sucks that some people might have to skip out on some games if they got some finance issues.
You ain't got no damn job.
Yeah, I'm not buying anything new now at all because we're going. This is going to go on for a long time. Mm-hmm. I've got Animal Crossing, I've got Resident Evil 2, I've got Devil May Cry 5, I've got the original Persona 5, and I got my Switch backlog. I'm fine. I'm not buying anything else.
Yeah, it's
and all your legacy stuff as well. I'm like, I'm gonna buy nothing. I got a plethora of systems and consoles and games to play. I'm good.
Shit, I gotta bring up my emulator here. It's me, Breath of the Wild hours I have. It's 24 hours 11 minutes. I'm still finding time to play Breath of the Wild, my third playthrough amongst Rocket League and these new games. And honestly, it's sad because Ori and the Will of the Wisp is a really sad game story-wise. It's even sadder than the first game. And it's
boy.
so it's hard to play it with everything going on right now. Whereas like Doom's just an absolute adrenaline rush, like of endorphins or whatever. It's such a makes you can't help but forget about what's going on, and Ori just kind of reminds me of what's going on. It's just like so sad.
Curb stomping a fucking
so
demon in the face.
finding the right game is important, not just having a game to play. Like Resident Evil 3 I didn't get that, this could be our future type feeling when I was playing it. I was just enthralled into the game. I was actually kind of bummed when, first of all, when I saw that Nemesis was there and then find out it was over right after that. But I was enjoying everything leading up to that more than running for my life from Nemesis. Cause it was,
Jill Valentine ain't never looked so good.
Nah, she just looked better.
I don't know if I like the design they went with.
I've seen better.
I'll say that they definitely I think it even looks even better than Resident Evil 2 is from a technical standpoint. They're definitely fine tuning the RE engine because Devil May Cry 5 looked better than Resident Evil 2, and then Resident Evil 3 looks better than Devil May Cry 5. It's like I said, it's obviously the visual part of it. And Retro made a joke about how I only need one Resident Evil game, right? Because I said by the end of the Switch's life, I'll be ready because we'll have 2 Mario games at that point, 3 Zelda games if you count Link's Awakening, not exclusive games.
Retro, he stores all this shit.
I'm like, if
a gun and blast it back at you.
I don't need 3 more new Resident Evil games after this one on the same system and stuff, but it's just a quality game. Again,
they
it's
ain't
just
new, so it doesn't count.
It's another game that runs significantly better.
You sound a little bit jaded, buddy. I'm just saying.
The PlayStation version runs significantly better than the Xbox One X version. Just want to throw that out there again. It's like average is almost 10 frames per second difference. So
what are you talking about the Pro version?
On the X, it drops almost to 30 frames at times, and Pro holds pretty much 50s. So yeah, I'm sure they'll fix it maybe before release, but it's just.
I used to shut the go just said as if it was like Resident Evil or something. What was that?
I don't know. But
Juice got something to prove tonight.
It's just
I don't know what's going on, buddy.
It's a good time to be a gamer, and it doesn't. I mean, obviously you got to have something other than the Switch for more than Animal Crossing, but if you got a PC, I think you're covered because if you got a PC and a Switch, you got Ori, Animal Crossing, you got Doom, you got Resident Evil 3. You got to have a PS4.
That's what people were saying. The best combo for this gen seems to be Switch and PC.
But I will say though, I will say when I was talking about how I want to I was gonna buy a graphics card, then I was like, you know what? I'll just get a PS4 Pro, and then I was thinking about getting the X, and now I'm thinking about getting the Series X. Just be able to relax, play on this, this nice TV that I bought, and I definitely that's a big factor too. Why I'm not playing Ori as much as I thought is because it's like, I don't mind sitting down in the basement. My chair's decently comfortable and stuff. Got a nice monitor, but it's just not the same level of comfort for me. And it's like I was really bummed when the Xbox One version of Ori was running so poorly and made it very difficult to play and enjoy.
So
looking forward to that Series X.
Would you not want to ever put your PC and hook it up to your TV?
Hell no. How am I gonna do a podcast? I'm gonna have to pull it back downstairs.
Well, because for me, I have it.
You want me to pull my microphone? Put my computer desk next to my TV. Like I know you can run.
That's why you get 2.
You can run longer.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That's like I even had a wireless keyboard when I hooked up my computer one time, and it's like it wasn't the best one, but 10 feet away where I sit, the keyboard was losing connection.
If it was in the same room, you could have done it.
Well, I did it in the same room once. I hooked it upstairs, but I didn't want to go out and buy
I take my desktop to work with me sometimes, and all I bring is the tower part.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean,
Yeah,
it's,
that's true. That's all you need is the tower.
it'd be one thing if I could just turn it on, have a controller plugged in, and play games. But you got to have a mouse and keyboard hooked up, you know, to just
At least start it up.
to get everything going. If you,
Yeah.
so it's just not. It's nothing I ever want to do. It's not, and plus I don't have a graphics card that really could take advantage of the 4K TV. So maybe if I had that, but still, it's just not a good setup because like I said, I got the podcast and all that. But just being able to play on the TV for me in the living room, comfort, kick back, have the recliner up, not laying on my side playing, but sitting back, relaxing, comfortable. That's a big difference for me, and I think it's
Well,
gave me.
I would agree. That's a massive difference.
And I don't sit 2 feet from my big screen, so I can really enjoy.
Shade.
That's how
I remember when y'all used to be friends.
That's how I enjoy it. Is 2 feet from the
And I
TV.
wonder, cause I played
Staring
a
at
lot.
pixels and shit, going blind. What the fuck are you talking about?
I know there's a lot of people that didn't buy a Pro or an X. Anybody that's got T has a base model Xbox. I mean, you're gonna you get the Series X.
Why you gotta put my business out there?
That's a huge upgrade. Whereas going from the X,
I see what you did there.
you got that
Maybe I
Connect
didn't want nobody to
version.
know I had the VCR Xbox.
Why?
But that's a
I thought
huge
y'all were
jump.
friends.
I don't think there's for people that have the X. I don't think they're gonna feel like they got a next gen leap in visuals going from the Xbox One X to the Series X.
Probably not at launch for sure.
Yeah,
Maybe
so
a couple of years.
I kind of think
Yeah.
that might happen with the PS4 or PS5 for me with having the Pro. It's like even though the resolution isn't that much. I haven't really noticed that much.
Well, the load times is gonna be feeling pretty good, I would think.
Yeah, so we might as well talk a little bit about the PS5 because it's. I was disappointed.
With the power of an SSD.
I was disappointed in your video as a guy that does lots of production and stuff, editing, and you didn't make fun of those that fake audience and that fake background green screen bullshit.
Man.
That's mental.
That
I
was
had to
the.
take a little time.
I had to take a double take. I'm like, is that just silhouettes that aren't moving? Oh wait, that girl's head just moved, but why is she up so much higher than the other person? Like, what the fuck is this? And then I just realized it was just
I did a reenactment. That's one of my videos.
Oh, nice.
I have a fake crowd too.
It was fake in the end, wasn't it?
It was the fakest thing I've ever seen.
The thing is, it's because, like you said, I was watching them. I'm like, man, these people don't even look like they're paying attention. They just look dodgy as hell.
Why'd they put him there? I don't
Look
understand.
like Mark is looking at them. What's going on? This weird fudgicles. And I was
It's
tweeting
called
it.
movie magic, everybody. Jesus.
Nintendo Directs always had audiences, man.
I don't think he was even standing in front of a podium.
Unfortunately, we had to
You're
cancel
right.
the talk that we had.
You think the podium wasn't real?
I think well, there's a Vio there, but is a Vio? They don't even make Vio.
Oh my
That's what I was
goodness.
like. So I was right
See.
about that, right? They sold Vile, didn't they?
Yeah. And who's this person like he's presenting to people? Why did they go through all this trouble to make it like they're
Like they're at GDC.
like these
yeah,
four
like they
people?
had the guy hand off to him. Like, what was that about? What the fuck?
This is
That was
he's standing in front of green screen. That background's added in, and it's like why he looks weird. He's always been
I don't
kind of
think it was
different
green screen. I
He
think it
looks
was-
weird.
I think it was that
because of the fakeness of everything. It just looks odd.
His face doesn't look real.
Do you think
I
that
mean,
background was really there for him? Because it doesn't. None of the
No,
color.
no. You saying green screen, but you're meaning the same thing I'm talking about. But there's a new tech called I don't know what it's called exactly. I just call it gray screen, where it does basically the same thing, but you don't have any of the
green.
the spillage,
Yeah.
green spillage and whatnot.
Yeah, because it just makes him look like fake. Like he's fake. He's the only thing that was probably real in that. I don't even know if that what looks like a TV display, if that was actually displaying. It kind of
Unless they drop a bombshell and just go, Mark Cine was actually rendered in PS5.
yeah. Because I think all the images that are appearing on that so-called TV, I think that's added. I think that's fake too. I think they're just adding his presentate. What do you call it? The PowerPoint. I don't think that was actually being displayed on that TV that's supposedly sitting.
It wasn't real time.
So either just because
I think
it
the whole
would've-
thing's composited together, like the
it
people.
would've looked that good.
I mean, unless they just had people standing there the whole time for this recording. I think they were
I mean,
added
that's
in
not
after.
the hardest thing to do.
No,
Anybody.
but I think they were added in after. I think it's got 13.7 million views. I don't think anyone watched the whole thing other than probably me.
Well, I did.
No, I went back and watched it.
I saw.
I watched the whole thing as it was
The
happening.
only thing I watched was Robin's video on it, and that's all I needed to see.
And it's like they
I
did this
blacked
for the
out.
PS4 Pro, and a lot of people forget that because it wasn't a new system or it wasn't a new generation. They did this exact thing. They put it on their YouTube channel after GDC, and it was like an hour long. And I tried to watch it and I couldn't take it. And I got to give myself a pat on the back because Terrell linked it
Again?
the day before. The morning, was it the morning of or the day before? Either way, it was ahead of time. He linked their tweet about tune in for the head of hardware at for PlayStation, Mark Cerny, takes a deep dive into the specs of the PlayStation 5 or whatever. I immediately replied with, "That's gonna be a boring ass presentation, and people are gonna complain about it."
I was just happy to get the cameo in the tweet. That's
Yeah,
all
and
I
it was
wanted
like
to say.
I just knew that because he did it for the PlayStation 4, he did it for the Pro, and it's weird, you know. I agree with people saying this shouldn't have been the first PS5 related video. But for me, once I knew what it was and knew it was the GDC stuff and Mark Cerny was doing, I knew exactly what it was going to be. So it was everything I thought it was going to be. So I didn't have that level of disappointment that a lot of people did because they expected something different. So, you know.
I was indifferent. That was my whole thing.
I wasn't disappointed. I was just like,
But yeah, just because it was the first one, you know they want information, so they're gonna have some.
I wouldn't have promoted it. I would have just uploaded it on YouTube and been done with it.
Like somebody said, I don't remember who it was. I don't know if it's Digital Foundry's breakdown of it. They could have cut it into like a 11-minute highlight. All right, this is
I
a
said
feature. That was you? Yeah. Good job, T. And just be like, hey, this is something where
Patronizing as fuck.
that wasn't Patreon. I'm just trying to forget my point. Well, I was basically reiterating what you were saying, but just take the talking points and trim it down into just a shorter video, so he's not going on and on and on about it. And one of the things they got completely fudged up was the backwards compatibility thing. He made it sound like only the top 100 but most played PlayStation 4 games would be supported at launch, and for some reason they show PS3 and PS2. I don't know if I didn't even catch that. Did he say that's coming?
Threes.
No,
But
I
that's,
didn't
of course.
Oh, that's how the
PS4
PS3 could play
and
PS2
PS4
games.
Pro.
He was comparing it.
So what he said made people
which is
think,
weird.
including myself, that only the top 100 most played games were going to be ready at launch.
Any normal person watching that at the time, that's what you thought.
That's what you
I
would
thought.
think. But if you look at this, what I have it paused on. Damn it, I thought I had it paused. He even said right before that PS4 Pro and PS4 Legacy modes are built into the chip and can never be removed. There's no hardware or any aspect that could ever change the backwards compatibility like with PS3. That's what the point he was making in the next slide. They took out PS2 because it was a separate chip. This is built in. So what Sony had to go and reconfirm was almost all of the 4,000 PS4 games are fully backwards compatible because of this right here. They have the modes built into the chip. What he meant was the top 100 most played are going to be able to take advantage of the PS5's extra processing power to get better frame rates and stuff. That's what that's what what he said poorly.
Why is that so hard to say?
I don't
You
know.
just said
I don't
it.
know why it's so hard. Because, that 100, once you hear that, it makes total sense. Like, yeah, the chip has all the basics PS4 and PS4 Pro. I don't know why it needs the basic PS4 mode. If you're buying a PS5, why would you? Well, I guess there are some games that don't have PS4 Pro upgrades, so it'd have to be able to handle PS4. So yeah, almost every game, I'm sure there's some that won't be compatible, whether they need the camera, maybe they meant VR. They didn't want to include VR. So backwards compatibility is just there, but it's only the top 100 most played games where they have to actually go in and update and make sure the game can work with the higher CPU and stuff. So
Yeah. So here's the thing: if you're doing some live off the cuff thing,
yeah,
and you make that mistake, then it's understandable. But bitch, somebody wrote this shit down first, and you presumably they edited and looked over it. And
Mhm.
like, oh, that doesn't sound right. Like, how did you miss that? That just, I don't know.
because that would have been a total fail. Like that just like why is it built into the chip if it only can play the 100 PS4 games? That makes no sense. But
Yeah.
so the top 100 most played doesn't mean it's
So Call of Duty, Call of Duty.
yeah, God of Wars and Spider-Man's will be able to take advantage of the PS5 for
Yeah, they come out again though and say something like, or it's actually the vast majority of them, will be.
yeah.
I
There's
think they
Well, that's the
jumped on
thing.
it again.
They had
Because when they talked about the top 100, a lot of it's going to be repeating franchises.
Yeah.
I mean, like again,
is
Call of Duty
Fortnite in there.
spots.
They took the
Fortnite.
most played.
It's like Jesus Christ. That. What the fuck is that?
But hopefully they'll exclude like Call of Duty Ghosts. And
That's what I think. I mean, we're talking. I think we're more talking like sales numbers and stuff. I think in terms of backwards compatibility, if they do get, which I'm sure they will be focused on, like the Spider-Mans, the God of Wars, the Personas, and all this stuff, right? That the Bloodborns and all these games that made the PS4 what it is to most people. Then I mean, realistically, let's be honest. How many people are going to go back and play half of their PS4 collection? I look at mine. I think I have no desire whatsoever to go back and play after this.
They did a survey on when they went from PS3 to PS4, and they were like, "Well, nobody cared about the stuff that's the reasoning." They said they didn't worry about backwards compatibility with the PS3.
yeah, well, I think the thing is about just knowing you can get rid of your PS4, you could trade it in type of feeling. Like if it wasn't going to support these games, then you're probably like, I'm going to hang on to my PS4 every case I want to play the Doom Eternal and stuff later on. But the fact that at least, and they said it so poorly, but to know that I could get rid of my PS4 Pro, put it towards the PS5, and my collection doesn't instantly become obsolete like I've done with my handheld Nintendo systems in the past. I've always traded them in for the new one, and then I keep the games, and I'm like, why do I have the games? Why did I get rid of the system if I kept the games? Because I have my Game Boy Advance and my DS games, and I don't have my 3DS.
Well, they all play Game Boy though. Oh wait a minute, Game Boy or DS only plays Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, 3DS doesn't play Game Boy Advance. So, but anyway, it's just for me, it's just nice to know that my 20 plus games. I'm not one to go back and play a ton of games, but there's been some really good games this generation, and I'm find myself replaying games more than I used to in the past. So, especially games that come out this year, but also they're behind the ball when it comes to if only 100 games out of the 4,000 will be able to actually just take advantage of the PS5's extra power, where it won't run just like it's a PS4.
What percentage is that?
Not a lot, but it is what it is. Hopefully they can.
For the most part, no, that's not gonna matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you put the number against the total amount of games, then it looks absolutely.
It sounds bad,
because they said
nobody's gonna care when that.
That's what I mean. If they get those core games, at least at launch, the games that people cared about, and we know what games people cared about on that console for the most part, then I think that will buy them some time in order to maybe do something else.
Yeah, because he said that if they just tried to take the PS4 game and hit it with the full power of the PS5, it was actually breaking games. So that's why they had to be able to get, let's say, I don't know, a game off the top of my head, let's say Bloodborne back in the day.
I knew it.
I don't know if that had frame rate issues. I'm guessing it did.
Well, it only ran at 30. You'd want to.
Oh, it ran at 30. So if like
30, down.
If there was a game, let's say use Ori and the Will of the Wisp on Xbox, for example, it shouldn't be running poorly, and I think it's something to do with the game engine, but there's a lot of moving things. I think it's probably CPU issue. But a game like that, it's a great, amazing game. That's a game of the year contender for sure. And then if you get a Series X, or if I get a Series X, now that game is significantly more. It's just completely smoothed out. Locked 60 frames per second makes that game way more playable on a console. That's the type of benefits I kind of expect for their bigger titles like Spider-Man, which I didn't notice don't have any issues with. It seemed to be really solid. But
I hate to disagree with you here on this, Juice, because what frame rate do movies run at? 24 frames. So if you're playing movie-like games, 30 frames is very close.
It's more
to a
cinematic.
Experience.
You're right.
It's more cinematic.
I hate you both.
Order 1866.
They could
hate that.
move the black borders.
I remember somebody.
Yeah.
I think they were at an expo, or it was probably like E3 or something, and it was a chick. She was like interviewing, I guess, the developers of Bloodborne, and she was like, "Oh, I kind of rather like the fact that it doesn't feel so gamey. It feels more cinematic at 30 frames." I was like, "Bitch,
Bloodborne?
What pay you to say that shit?"
Come on.
I tell you right now,
more cinematic. Right?
All those actual cutscenes when there's like none.
I mean, I thought for sure I got The Last of Us remastered, and I got it. I think it was $10 on Black Friday. I'm like, all right, native 4K. I got a 4K TV for sure. I'm running at 4K. Probably played it that way for 5 minutes. I'm like, let me check this frame rate mode. Played it at 60 frames per second. Now I'm probably 2/3 the way through the game. I've never even considered going back to the 4K 30 mode. It just, it doesn't like retro. I mean, there's a decent amount of shooting in there. I mean, for sure, it's not a shooter in overall, but the shooting that's there, it feels way better than it did on the PS3 as far as your aiming. It feels more like Uncharted 4, where it just feels better. But that's one where I actually feel the frame rate makes that the gameplay better, the responsiveness, everything controls better.
Well, sure, certain games frame rate does help.
It's still
actual gameplay, people.
Definitely still has those. It definitely feels like a last gen game in a lot of ways. It just got the limitations of that hardware still built into it. They couldn't do anything about Last of Us.
Okay.
But as far as just playing, it just feels better. And I thought for sure I definitely wanted. I thought I wanted that 4K native, but nope. Once I played the 60 frames version, I haven't even gone back. So, it's just stuff like that they could have made a little bit clearer with this, and I'm sure they'll have to adjust with the next time we see PS5, because a lot of people took that the wrong way, the whole backwards compatibility thing, and they're a little deceptive in some of their spec talk too. And if you listen to Next Gens,
it's very simple. I mean, they're 10 kitty bytes per second. What is it?
Teraflops.
10 teraflops is not the same as a regular teraflop. It's different. They have different teraflops.
Did you hear Omagiaza or whatever? What's his name? Next Gens.
Omigazio.
Yeah, he was trying to say there.
Are y'all casting a spell?
He goes, it's a more advanced system. I'm like, did you just watch the same press? I mean, they're not going. They told you they're not going for power. They've tried to downplay the teraflop thing. That's a different.
Right.
That's not the strategy they were going for. They wanted instant.
That's like Nintendo saying, "Oh, quality over quantity. Oh, we're not going to make enough games for you guys, but they're going to be really quality." N64.
So it was funny.
Words.
That was one of the most enjoyable, fanboy arguing I've ever heard. Was that Next Gen's live reaction to the PS5 presentation? That was some of the funniest shit.
Yeah. That dude is the super. Well, that's somebody worse than him. We all know who that is.
J-Tech or something.
Omega drone. Yeah.
8 hours and 2 PS5s ago, I became the Sony king.
It was a bad presentation for sure. It was boring. It was all that. And then there was a little deception because they tried. The Xbox definitely they just went balls out power. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, and Sony's trying to make it seem like it's closer than it is, but it doesn't matter because if you look at percentage wise, the PS4 Pro is 72% raw power of the Xbox One X, and the games still look phenomenal, and in some cases run better. So whatever the lead platform is for the developers, so it doesn't really matter because the PS5 to the Xbox Series X is like 84%, so it's actually closer percentage wise. So games are gonna look amazing. They look amazing on
So
the
what you're saying is Sony always wins, baby.
Yep.
Okay.
games still look great on the
Imagine-
base PS4. Like, I mean, they're gonna look amazing. I just don't understand getting all worried about that shit. Like,
imagine, like, we're all primarily, Nintendo first people here. Imagine finding out, just going to Twitter and seeing somebody say something good about Sony and deciding I'm gonna block that person on Twitter, on YouTube. That's the type of dronage. Like, you don't even know you're blocked by this guy. You've never said a word to him, or never said a word about
Yeah,
him.
JTech has.
I didn't even
He
know about
knows
this
that
guy.
you like
Oh yeah, he's
Nintendo.
really
Till recently.
notorious.
He will block you for that alone.
So
That's
imagine
super
though,
dronage.
imagine making an 8-hour podcast trying to say the Switch is more powerful than the PS4 or Xbox One, though. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just
the kind
crazy.
of stuff we're talking here.
But
It's
I
pretty
mean,
entertaining. I'm pretty entertained.
It's entertaining though. It is. I'll give it.
making fun of him's entertaining. I didn't listen to any of what he had to
Oh
say.
no, I think the first like 30 minutes was enough, and you'll be
that. Yeah,
laughing.
you
for the
can't
first
watch the
30
whole
minutes.
thing. I wouldn't think.
Yeah, watch it in
Sure.
chunks. You don't watch the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm still just amazed at this presentation. I've had it on this whole time. I still just looking at the composition of everything on screen. Like, these people are sitting at desks, and it's like, did they really force these people to sit here and listen to him, or was that just pulled from another conference? That I'm very curious.
Superimposed.
I'm very curious if they were actually in the same room with him.
I'm
or
not that curious. I'm entertained. But
I'm
not that
very curious because to me it's funnier if they're not there. I'd be a little disappointed if they were actually in the same room.
I was surprised you were paying attention that much. I was trying not to pass the fuck out.
And then he's talking about the variable frequency and basically showing that it's not going to run at peak performance the whole time, which is
Well, if they were there, that would be like not practicing social distancing. So.
Yeah, well, this probably
especially from the company who was the first to pull out of everything.
Except the
Because of,
Olympics.
But then does that makes you question what was the reason why they were pulling out in the first place, T?
And then they're gonna get together and have a bunch of people in a room together. Like, that doesn't
They
make sense,
dirty.
so-
They dirty. That's what they is.
Yeah, they were definitely ahead of the curve, man, for pulling out
Yeah,
of it.
they were ahead. You can give Sony that.
Yeah,
They were
yeah.
ahead.
Sony did it because of the sickness. That had nothing to do with the lack of content.
And then, how long
They
ago
weren't gonna,
was
they
that?
weren't gonna be there anyway, but they could take credit for it.
How long ago
Yeah,
was
so look at
PAX?
this, guys. We knew it was up.
How long ago was PAX? 3 weeks?
Oh,
No.
April? Did you say April?
Yeah,
No, it was like a month. It was like over a month ago.
April of,
because even a week ago,
2019,
2 weeks ago, probably I wouldn't even thought much of it. But now it seems like, why did they not cancel those events? But it wasn't quite at the level it's at now, I guess, for people.
No, we weren't sure just yet.
But all right, so let's open up the old Discord here. See if we got. I know we had a few questions. Just two from Dave 97. We'll get to those and we'll get on out of here. So again, I see our viewers dropped as soon as we started talking about the PS5. We lost like 10 viewers. Sorry about
Jeez.
that.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
Yep. I don't know. It's a different time of
Sony
day.
always wins.
It's a different
baby.
time of day. It's dinner time for a lot of people. But Monday we'll be
Why
back.
would you stop for that?
Mondays.
We'll be on SoundCloud soon. I
4
promise.
p.m. Eastern. So I guess Dave 97's. We've been talking about these Series X and PS5. So his question is related. Microsoft is making a lot of good choices for next gen. However, what are your thoughts on the Xbox Series X being compatible with external proprietary fast storage? How do you feel about the controller still using AA's? I didn't see it was using AA's. Has that been confirmed?
Oh yeah, the Xbox. Yeah, it is.
The
Yeah,
Series
that's
X?
confirmed,
Yeah.
Yeah, I complained about that.
Huh? Because I know the Elite
Oh, I'll
2
go
uses a
grab it real
rechargeable.
quick to
Yeah,
show
the
you.
Elite 2, but the regular base controller are still using.
Yeah, it's still using
double A.
Man.
AA's.
Well, I have two nice recharging packs for my Xbox One that I'll be able to use, but that's still stupid.
That's an extra cost.
Yeah, that's like
Though it's
T, in your T talk, you were talking about this, right? Because
yeah, I was talking about that.
catch
And
I
I was
must have
like,
missed that one.
somebody, said something, kind of trying to counter argue it, but I'm like, these controllers cost the same much. It's not like they're cheaper.
Yeah, the same price
If
as the
they are,
PS4. Well, a little bit depending on which one. If you get the basic
yeah,
one,
depending on which
it's
one.
cheaper than the Switch Pro controller, but
not by much. We're talking maybe $5.
yeah, unless they're on sale, for 40 or something. But the
Yeah.
standard price is 60, I believe, 65.
Yeah.
So like, I know you spent, what was it, $100 million researching the controller or some shit. They touted before Xbox came out, Xbox One, but it's still just a controller with 2 sticks and face buttons. Like it's nothing special. I mean the roll trigger is pretty cool. That's a cool thing, but
I
like,
think
come on.
it's lame as
at this
hell.
point,
That's a disappointing to find out, to be honest.
I mean, people still think like, Nintendo doesn't go with the times and shit. Who the fuck still uses AA batteries
Yeah.
and shit in 2020?
That's ridiculous.
and here I am using my Wii U Pro controller on my Switch with 80-hour battery.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're asking me to switch batteries.
See, this is a perfect scenario because everyone, sometimes when things don't apply to you, you get accused of not caring enough about stuff. Like, I literally have, for my Xbox One, I have it's a little recharging kit. I got it on Amazon. I paid like, I don't know, $20 for it. For me, I didn't have to buy my Xbox One, so it's not, it wasn't that big of a deal. But it's a double pack of the. It's probably like 2 AA's inside it, but it looks like a little battery pack. They charge really quickly and they last a good amount of time. And even when I'm not using them, I came back to them. I thought that they'd be dead for sure, and it holds its charge. So I'm covered. If I get the Series X, I'll just use these. But I still think it's absolutely unacceptable that they're expecting to have people use AA batteries. I don't know. It's just fucking stupid.
Now there are some advantages to what they're doing. Obviously, it costs more because you're gonna have to at least buy rechargeable batteries, which is what I have. I've had them since basically the Wii.
Mm-hmm.
But so the advantage is that if your controller dies on Xbox, you don't have to you don't have to plug in or whatever. You can just switch your rechargeable batteries or whatever out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an advantage. I mean, that is a good thing.
Yeah, I
don't have
guess
to be tethered to my console. So maybe they looked at that and said, "Well, we'd rather have you do that." I don't know.
I've never had
It's still
controller last longer than the battery, though, as far as when a charge would I wear out the thumbsticks before any of my internal batteries have ever stopped holding a good charge.
Yeah, well, that's what the argument was coming back to me. It was just one person on that video that was like,
Yeah,
saying
but
that,
I mean, also all of these controllers, we charge them up via USB cable.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I'm sure some multiple tens of years down the decade, no one's going to complain too much if they have to buy a 2-meter long wire in order to play that controller, because
that was my point to him. I was like, well, I still use what was I talking about? My original my PS3 controller. All those controllers still work 10 12 years later or whatever it is, even more than that. So I'm not worried about the battery being dissipated especially during the life of the console. Like, that's not going to be a worry. So that's not an excuse to be like, well, at least you can. And then he was trying to say like, well, he wasn't saying it in a mean way, so I don't want to make it seem like that. But he was saying that it's easier to switch out the rechargeable battery and all that stuff on Xbox or whatnot, because all you have to do is basically clip it off or clip it in.
The same type of power pack that the 360 had. The same type of power
it's a
pack.
little different than that.
No, it's it doesn't stick out either. It doesn't protrude.
No, it doesn't stick out.
It's
No.
actually
It's the same idea, but it's
the controller does look really, the close-ups of it. I do like how they changed the
nice.
triggers and the bumpers.
I like how it's curvier, and then
But you can still use your Xbox One controllers though. That's the other benefit to the Series X is you don't have to buy all new controllers.
Yeah.
If you
and my
have
Xbox One controller has AA batteries in it too.
Yeah.
Don't have to buy.
But
With AA batteries.
I did like one of the things they said they changed was it's a I don't know if it's Bluetooth or a different. It's a faster signal for the wireless, so input latency has been reduced, whether it's significant or not. So maybe when we play Smash, I always plug my Pro controller in wired, so it's just a little bit more responsive. It's milliseconds probably, but I notice it when I'm playing wireless. I notice I'm a little slower on my reactions and my grabs and stuff. So they said they've improved that, whether it's significant or not. I like to hear that, but just why with the double A's? Like that's just stupid. But as far as the expandable memory thing, I like that you can just plug it in the back, and they said it's gonna be $100 for a terabyte. I mean, so that's
pretty
about
decent.
That's
well,
about
to be fair, the Xbox 360 gave you the option, didn't it? It came
And it
stacked
gave
with
you
the
20 gigs for
hollow.
$150.
I'm talking about the controller here.
Oh
In
yeah.
terms of
The controller.
deciding whether you want to put batteries in it or buy a rechargeable battery pack for it. So I'm guessing that the Xbox Series X will be doing the same as this, is it?
Oh, they didn't do that for the.
You can still play plugged in. I mean, that's
Yeah, the Xbox One didn't do that where they had their own, but like I said, I just bought two rechargeable packs that looks like two AA's in a plastic housing, and it works, So, but the one about the 360, the charge and play, it took like 10 hours to charge while playing. If you didn't plug it into a different charging pack or a charging station, and that
plug into the console.
That sucked. But just as far as the memory expansion thing, so what these systems are trying to do is go solid state drives, which, I mean, for a computer you can get a terabyte of the M.2 drive. I want to say it's like $60-$70 or something. But that's not there's different ones that are faster. There's ME or whatever is like the fastest, and there's different levels to it. I like that this takes the guessing out of it, because if you watch PlayStation 5 talking about, there's not even ones on the market yet that'll be compatible speed wise, and then once they are, there's only gonna be a few, so people are gonna buy ones that aren't fast enough, and it's
right.
I don't know if that's just
gonna. I saw a bunch of people saying, "Oh, that when they found out about Xbox, oh, that's a no buy for me based on that alone." Well, I'm like, bro, like you're gonna go out and buy a drive and it's gonna run like shit. It's not gonna be what you need. You want to keep those speeds up, and they're giving you here. This is perfectly gonna work for your console day one. Versus I got to go out and try to figure out what drive.
And it's like plug and play like a memory card. You can plug them in and out like without having to worry about. I'm sure you don't do it while it's saving. But let's see, a 1 terabyte NVMe. Let's see what $182 for this one. $79.99, so $80. $129. So I mean, $109. That's $100 for a terabyte. That's on par with. And these ones, you don't know which one's going to be compatible.
That's on par with your internal SSD, like.
Yeah. You talk about additional memory now for saving and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is what I mean now. So it's like we're entering this new realm now where games are going to be. I mean, the last Call of Duty patch, what was that? Was it like 200 gigs or some shit?
No, the entire game.
No, it was like it was high. It was like
50 the entire game with the new what do you call it, battle royale mode.
It's over 200 gigs.
Is it? I thought it was 180.
Yeah, when you're talking
that's still a lot.
But here's the thing.
You're raising a resolution like this.
That's still too goddamn much.
You're talking 4K resolution. The game sizes are going to go up.
Did you listen to Mark Cerny though?
Games. You're talking
how
about
he said that old hard drives, they have to put the same information on there, sometimes up to 40 different times, so that it's not on the complete other end of the hard drive disk. So there's a ton of repeating data just so it doesn't take 5 minutes to load. and all
Right.
that's going to be eliminated. So
So the argument is that the file sizes would be smaller.
in comparison, I mean,
Yeah.
the games are still going to get bigger, but
So it's like a stopgap.
but it
almost.
might. I mean, who knows? We don't know. I don't know
Well,
if
I think if anyone's gonna do it, it's gonna be the first party Sony guys,
yeah,
but
if it was
the
100
third party
gig,
guys are not gonna care.
I
Yeah,
wonder.
first party you pretty good to go on that stuff, but when it comes to third party, you can
Yeah, we
hit or
don't know,
miss.
but it'd just be interesting to find out if how much of a difference is that going to make? Is it if it was 100 gigs on a HD, having to repeat information? Will it be 80 gigs on the solid state, or will it be 90? Will it be 50? You know, they didn't give any kind of number. I just hope it's a little more significant than just a small gain there. But you know, because that's definitely going to be a problem. But if you got the option to buy an extra terabyte that's plug and play versus got to do research and find out which one's actually going to work in your system, I'll take the plug and play option that's actually priced very
Pretty good.
comparable to right now. I mean, obviously there's sales.
I just felt like when I saw that, I was like, come on, man, you're looking for an excuse.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's not a
there's
deal
nothing
breaker.
there. Yeah, there's no deal breaker there.
I don't expect them to have 2 terabytes in these at launch, just because 2 terabytes, the price jumps up significantly for this type
the
of memory.
Xbox, I know they already said it's going to be at 1 terabyte, and the PS5 is actually only going to be 820.
Yeah, I saw that.
So...
Yeah, and
What's up with that, yo?
That's such a weird fucking number.
because it's
That's
not
crazy.
even one. It's not even like one solid thing of. It's like a bunch of, not cards. It's a bunch of smaller pieces add together to get the 825. It looked like.
And will you actually be able to use that? Is that what
How
you're
much
gonna
will the
actually
OS
start
be
with?
taking? I wonder.
How much is the OS? That's what.
Will
I'm
you
getting
have
to.
600
So you're
at
gonna be in the
launch?
sevens? Like, yeah, like what's
Yeah, that's definitely the worst. That was probably the worst news for me, was that not only isn't it a terabyte, or I mean, not only is it not 2 terabytes or something big, it's tiny in comparison. So those games better be a lot smaller. And they did say there's a new compression technology too on top of it. So maybe the games will be even smaller than they are right now in the beginning. I don't
But then
know.
again, it's like, who are you Nintendo bitches to talk about with your 32 gigabyte asses?
Yeah, at least
Can't say
micro
shit
SD
about-
cards are cheap as shit, but still.
Well, but I think it's consistent because you complain about the Nintendo memory just like you complain about the Sony memory. So
Well,
it's
yeah.
as long
I
as
always
you're being
argue
consistent.
though. I always argue the Nintendo memory in multiple cases now doesn't even cover a game. What you get with the system, whereas
It's
PlayStation,
pretty
Xbox, you
pathetic.
probably get it. You're gonna get at least 10 games, depending on the game, on Xbox, I would say. And
Unless
just-
you're a Call of Duty fan.
yeah, unless it's Call of Duties, then you won't. You get 5. Like my buddy has an
Yeah.
Xbox One X. I think it's a 2 terabyte, and 10 of his games are Call of Duties, and it's like over a terabyte just in Call of Duty games.
Well, I saw that, you know, then there's people that don't fucking understand it. And the one guy I saw is like, because for Warzone is, you know, super big. And he's
Well,
like,
it's not. Yeah, by itself it is.
he's like, oh, well, and he's like, of course it's big, you dumbass. It's a new game. I'm like, what? I'm like, yo, this guy. It's a fucking map, bro.
Well, it's only
It's a
20
map.
gigs on if you already
Look
have
at the
Call of
dirt,
Duty.
Robert. You didn't see the dirt on the ground.
If you already have the
Only-
game,
come
it's
on,
only
20 gigs though. Like, there's no reason that shit should be 20 fucking gigs. When we have Witcher 3, I just don't believe that a map, a battle royale map, takes 20 gigs. I don't believe it.
Well, work was done to make Witcher 3 happen.
Well,
They
there's-
don't have to do any work. If they're not forced to compress, they're not going to do it.
yeah.
They're just not going to do that.
And
Yeah.
there's new this mode has elements that don't exist in the other games. So
What-
I thought
Which I
20
don't
gigs was about
understand,
right.
'cause
I
as soon
just
as they got
don't
compression-
fucking believe it. I don't
Yeah,
believe
the last
it.
Call of, if you want to know
Take
how
longer to
big
load.
the last Call of Duty is 175 gigs.
Good
Again,
God.
I don't fucking believe that.
Yeah,
shit
they're
needs to
just
be that
they're
big.
bloated, no doubt about it. But I didn't think 20 gigs for that battle royale mode was anything. I mean, some of the updates, some of the map packs have been bigger than that.
I know, but that's
Which is worse.
Exactly, that's ridiculous.
That's
crazy.
worse,
It's
in my
just it's
opinion.
map. All that is just a few maps, guns, and modes. Wait, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
Not a goddamn thing.
Robert's about to.
What you really mean to say is that some companies are just really bad at fucking at making games, which we've known that for years.
And it's compression. Like compression helps you with efficiency. Like if you have these big ass raw files, those things take longer to load. That adds to load time.
Yeah, I
So,
don't
like,
know what the
this
loading
is
times are in this.
Something I don't get it. Like you should be compressing. That's something you should be doing.
I will
for
say
the betterment of your game.
there's a few PS4 games now I have. Uncharted 4 66 gigs and Spider-Man 60. I can't. Another one's like 60 something.
I should go check.
And I'm like,
I think Spider-Man is 60.
and I'm like, I only put Uncharted
Is
4
it?
on there because I enjoyed Lost
let me go
Legacy.
check. I'm curious.
Nah, Spider-Man's 45.
I was gonna say I
I
think
just checked.
There's another. I have two that are over. One.
Maybe it's Days Gone then. That
Isn't
one's
it
60.
God of War?
Is that one that? I mean,
And also
be.
Uncharted 4, at least on the back, maybe there was updates. You know,
no,
but it's
Uncharted
just
4 is
50.
64 gigs now,
Oh, okay, they added 14 gigs.
and I only installed it because I
Yeah,
liked.
Spider-Man's only 45.
I loved Lost Legacy so
damn.
much. I was like, man, maybe I'll start Uncharted 4 again, but I never did. I installed it, but I never played it.
it's fuck this shit.
Fuck that game. That's why. No,
That-
God of War's only
Honestly,
44.
I'm just gonna always point towards Witcher 3. That's 35 gigs. I'm just saying. I'm just fuck.
Because we're better than
I'll say Xbox One version of the game.
But it's
Isn't
at-
that
it's- but it's
isn't
at
that
60p?
isn't that
It's
isn't
at-
that good looking? I will say it's not that good looking of a game on the Xbox.
Yeah, Witcher 3 is on Switch, but it's like 540p.
No, but I'm pointing at my PS4 copy. That's 35 gigs.
Yeah,
Yeah, the PS4 copy is 35 gigs. So
I don't know. I didn't play enough of that game. All I saw was the same trees over and over and bushes over and over.
That game came out.
But and you don't want to play Animal Crossing.
I don't know
user.
what I don't know what kind of variety there is.
And
in that
remember,
game.
kids, that new Final Fantasy remake game coming out?
Oh
That's
yeah,
100
that's
that's 100
fucking
that's 100
bullshit,
gigs.
That's
too.
100. Well, that's all cutscenes. You know that.
Witcher 3.
That
Witcher 3,
makes it worse. That means I'm paying. That means I'm losing file space for videos. Fuck that,
Dude,
Give
I
me
mean, a
YouTube
fucking
link.
Ultra HD Blu-ray's 100 gigs. I mean, they don't use it all, but some of them do. Like Avatar would have to be in that line.
That's madness, though, man.
I mean,
That's
video. I
disgusting.
mean, you're talking high quality video, high bit rate video and audio.
That's a lot of.
This is why I'd say you don't need this kind of level of quality if you guys don't know how to compress it properly. This is dumb.
Oh.
Because the end user has to pay for
There's
it.
a
It's
lot-
not like they get to make these beautiful looking games and then create this false narrative that these are the kind of games we want to see. And oh, by the way, you need to go buy another hard drive because your other one filled up from 3 games because you're a fan of Call of Duty and Final Fantasy. Good job,
Well,
buddy.
And also, like,
Robert, by the way, Robert, Witcher 3 was being worked on in 2012, 2013. Back then, they were still more.
You think
conscious about-
Cyberpunk's gonna be 32
file
gigs,
size.
Robert?
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
sorry.
no, I don't think it'll be 30. No, obviously no. But I don't think it's gonna be 100 either.
I wouldn't say that.
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. I mean, I feel like they respect people, man. I don't know. I just.
And there's a
They
line though.
said that at least based off of a listing, it says it's going to at least be 80.
There's definitely a line where compression becomes a problem though, because I just playing Doom on the Switch. Even though I played 55 hours, there's a lot of like audio clipping issues and audio cutting out because it's just such a compressed file. It degrades the quality to the point where it actually takes away from the experience. But then there's also where it's, so the file's so huge there's no justification. So there is a middle ground.
Call of Duty though, like Call of Duty is the main fucking one that's like, come on, you Call of Duty don't even do that big. Get out
They're
of here.
definitely the worst offenders. I can't think of any other game
Yeah, the worst.
that's even close.
Because it's so insane.
What is? I wonder what was the last Battlefield 5?
I can look it up.
5,
real quick.
yeah.
Let's check.
But who knows after updates and stuff?
5.
Because that's
After all the DLC and
Yeah.
updates on it.
anyway.
That's
Dave,
not right. That
Dave-
can't be right.
Dave97 said apparently Steam and Xbox have digital refunds. I didn't know about that, but
It's around like 68, it looks like.
what is Battlefield?
Battlefield
Okay.
5 seems to be about 68 gigs. It might be a little bit more than that now because of the updates, but it's 68. Oh, no. It's 68 for the base game, and then they put out a new patch for it.
Oh,
So it's
God.
probably like 90.
I'm sure it's
like
up there.
90.
That's
Yeah,
just a
what's with it?
reality. I mean, games have gotten bigger every generation since the beginning of gaming. It's just a
Well,
reality.
especially when these console manufacturers allow them to fucking put these uncompressed games on these fucking
Well,
systems.
that was a big issue with the N64. It didn't get a lot of games because there wasn't the couldn't fit it on the cartridge.
You remember when games were in the kilobytes back on the NES?
No. What was
Crazy.
the N64 launch day size cartridge? 32?
8 megabyte?
Was it 64 megabytes or something?
No,
What was
That
it?
would
They were
fit
like-
well with the marketing though, wouldn't it?
I want to say they were like 16 megs at the highest.
I'm gonna say it was the
Mario,
end.
I think
it was the
Mario 64 was like
So I don't really get though. How come games that are like 15 gigs on a PS4 disc can't play off the disc? Why do I gotta install?
Because the read speed.
because its fucking drive's too slow.
Yeah, the
I
drives
know.
are too slow.
Yeah, that's why.
Are they gonna change? I guess they're not gonna change that for PS5 and stuff.
Yeah,
What?
we
No.
got physical media for one more, I'd say. N64 cartridges had 32 megabits, 4 megabytes originally.
4 megabytes.
They
That's
got
what-
up to
Crazy.
64 megabytes, so they went from 4 to 64.
Yeah, and Resident Evil 2 was
Yeah,
like,
Conker's
the
Bad Fur
64.
Day were the ones using 64 megabytes. But I mean, what was
Because there's a lot of voice.
wasn't a CD 700 megabytes? Couldn't CDs hold 600
Yeah.
700 megabytes?
700 megabytes. Day
So
one.
I mean, these issues have existed for a long time. It's just gotten to the point where it's
Where
definitely
now it's
a few
very
games are
unique.
definitely standing out where it's absolutely ridiculous. And
Yeah, imagine playing, the new Call of Duty games at the speed of a CD-ROM back in the day.
Yeah.
You'd be sitting for hours trying to
and it's
load it
interesting
back.
because this going to
Yeah.
this new solid state means they couldn't like realistically go big with the memory. Now if they stayed with old hard drives, I would expect 4 terabytes, above
Yeah.
type of stuff. So it's like the trade-off. So do you want a true next gen revolutionary experience when it comes to the storage, but have basically stay at what we're at right now with 1 terabyte kind of being the standard? Or would you rather the games and stuff still being held back by old slow hard drives and have more memory? So I'd rather
It's a
have
trade-off.
I'd rather have
So
the-
you think it was worth the trade-off?
yeah, the solid state was the biggest addition I've ever made to my computer. Like all the CPU and motherboard and graphics cards I've changed over the years, nothing even comes close to just having
Yeah,
Windows
I
running
mean-
off a solid state. It's just
I mean, yeah, I know on my PC it feels nice and fast.
now I have my
Yeah.
games. I have a second solid state for my games. It's nice. I mean, I don't want to go back.
Yeah,
I remember
get
the
that.
days of Windows taking 2-3 minutes to boot up your computer. I mean, now
Ugh,
now you're down to
ugh.
20
We-
seconds.
We still got the same developers, right?
What?
What?
Oh, we got the same developers. That's what he said.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
still
so I
have
mean,
great
it's-
developers and bad developers, and now we got great developers that have take advantage of something that's been the biggest game changer I've since when it came out 2012. Like
So what do you think when so like when we get to when we get to this imagine PS
Eventually.
5 power which would be I guess 3 generations, I don't know.
10
probably
years
Oh.
from now.
Yeah, about 10 years.
I mean,
right.
it would be interesting to see what direction Nintendo take. I think it's just gonna look like what Pixar movies look like right now, type of.
Yeah, but you said Luigi Mansion 3 kind
It's
of looks
close,
like that already.
You know.
Very close.
It's so funny.
Close.
It's so funny
close.
because they were talking that Pixar shit in the mid '90s. I'm like, this
Yeah.
can't be that powerful.
It's close, but now I mean, still like everyone's striving for Pixar because Pixar still looks the most realistic animation.
And
like
it's funny
there's-
that Pixar is still the standard.
Yep.
Just so you
Like
Well, I
Toy
think,
Story 4, Toy Story 4 is just looks like real. It
I
just is
thought
crazy.
How to Train Your Dragon 3 was Pixar level.
Oh no, it's Pixar level, but in terms of realism, I would
Well,
say.
what do you
Toy
mean
Story 4 is
realism?
top.
Realism CGI? Like it's not.
photorealism.
It's not looking like
Yeah,
real
photorealism. Have you seen Toy Story 4? The environments look just
The
real.
environments look
Bro, I
photorealistic.
remember being blown away.
No,
by
I'm not
cars.
joking.
This is
The
nice.
beginning scene, I was stunned in the theater when you had Woody and he looked just like he was placed on a sidewalk.
Really,
It
I
was
never. I
very
didn't
strange.
know it.
With the water, they had rain going down and it looked unbelievable.
Yeah, it's getting out of hand.
Because I've only seen like the indoor
No, not the
footage.
indoor. I'm talking about
I'm watching the
the
trailer
outdoor
right
shots with especially the beginning, the very beginning where it's raining is like, what the fuck, yo, Jesus Christ, come on, that can't be CG, yo, that can't be, but
I don't know, it
it
looks
is.
CG in the trailer.
But the original Jurassic Park still looks good, yo.
It's kind of like that with the Lego movie because
Oh,
I
Lego
thought
movie
they, I
looks real,
thought they
yeah.
were
The
using
Lego
stop
movie
motion
blew me away.
animation. Lego movie looked incredible.
I think
first time.
everybody thought that was like Legos lined up doing stop
Yeah,
motion.
that's what I thought too.
Nope, it was all CG. I'm like, what?
I was about to say the
insane.
last stop motion kind of.
Look at that! Did you see that street? Look at this street!
Yeah.
Look at this street!
So it's like they started out as a CG. They started out making CG movies. Now they're trying to make photorealistic movies. They might as well just
Look at that! You see that shit? That street? Come on!
It still looks
I
like
feel like
it looks
I feel
like
the problem
CG.
is that Juice's stream is not giving it. I need
Well,
to go look up that footage.
I'd have to see
myself.
it
Yeah, you
like
gotta go look at it on your
running
own.
off.
Well,
a
you got to
Blu-ray
see it on a
disc.
Blu-ray and
Yeah.
shit like that.
I mean, I watched. To be fair, I watched Toy Story 3 in theaters, and I was like,
No,
God,
Toy Story
damn.
This,
4.
yeah, the
Toy
rain
Story
there.
4. I'm sorry, my bad.
That part, that fucking.
Well, I
oh,
will
God.
say too, YouTube said they're gonna reduce the quality across the board with everybody streaming now.
Yeah, they are.
but also the thing is that
fucking
you can
YouTube.
still, it starts at standard, but you can still change
Yeah.
it to HD if you
Yeah,
want.
I don't think games will be to this level anytime soon. But I
They
meant
won't.
like Pixar from probably 5-6 years ago, maybe 10 years ago.
YouTube
I
has
don't know,
already reduced
man.
the quality on
Dude, oh my God, yo!
Content.
When games look like that, that's just like, what the fuck, yo! It's I mean, I already made a video. I think it's too scary if games look like that, but like, I don't
Horror
know.
game turns into a horror game.
No, I just think it's at some point it's gonna look weird to be killing people that look like you.
Yeah.
Like
You mean
I already
that
felt that
Uncanny
with Grand
Valley,
Theft Auto
essentially.
5.
I think
I
it's
remember
fascinating.
thinking that when I played when I first saw Code Veronica on a Dreamcast, and I remember saying to my friend, I goes, "Yo, man, it's actually gonna feel like I'm gonna be stabbing these zombies, man." I felt like that. That's going back
We all
then
did
because
back then.
it was crazy.
To be
thought it
fair,
was
like
insane.
that always depends on the person. I had that feeling with GoldenEye already when you aim for somebody's head, but then the rumble pack adds to it. And shit, man, I just put a bullet in his ass.
Yeah.
Well,
Like
look
I
at Toy
would say I
Story
feel
2. Look at
sorry
how
for
far
people.
behind it looks. Just how many years that been? 10 years.
That still doesn't look. That still looks good to me though.
no, it looks
looks good,
great,
but I mean,
like,
there's a
but like
huge
if you compare it
difference.
to Toy Story 4, it's crazy.
So far in
I always
this.
say I feel sorry, and I continue to feel sorry for people who didn't enjoy that real time, like going from a Super Nintendo controller to an N64 with a rumble pack and shooting something, and that first time was just like, this is insane. Like, this is unbelievably cool. Now it's like standard, and nobody even thinks about when
Yeah, it's
the
crazy.
controller rumbles. But back then, that was the most insane thing ever. Like on top of going from 2D to 3D, like that was also like immersive as hell and crazy.
Well,
When
and,
you shot somebody and you
Oh, that's
felt
right.
like
You could
your
look up
gun
Kingdom Hearts
recoiled.
Toy Story level.
but
Yeah, that looked nice.
we'll be here.
It does
all
look
day.
nice.
We're gonna be here all day, but I do want to say something.
You always want to.
I know we talked about it before briefly, but just see what Minecraft looks like with
That ray tracing.
with the full
With
ray
the-
tracing
with the
shit.
ray tracing.
Like, and they can only do that. In case somebody hasn't seen it, I'm gonna put it on the screen. They can only do that because of how simplistic this game is. Because there's not a graphics card out that they could implement this level of light, reflection, bounce, all that on like a God of War level game. But I mean, the difference what lighting can make. Like we're talking about, imagine what Nintendo will look like in 10 years. But imagine when they can add this level of lighting to games, right, like PS4 type games that are, as far as visual fidelity, like a Resident Evil 3 or something. Like it's gonna be mind blowing.
It's gonna be mind blowing, but again, I keep saying it. There's got to be some sort of game feel because at some point, I don't know, man.
Oh, that's disgusting. Oh my god.
Look at it's not Minecraft now. It's you have to respect art style as well, and this completely changes it to something else. It's a
Yeah,
completely different game.
it's.
So some people prefer this art style, for the game. Others won't. And
But when you're
that doesn't-
playing the game, it's still gonna feel like Minecraft playing it. I mean, I saw an
And now I
actual.
see a baby.
But that, I mean, that's enough. That's another argument where
But I'm pretty sure that's
what
I don't
makes
think
the game,
that's.
what makes the game, the gameplay, the graphics, the lighting, the
Yeah.
music.
No, but
it all
this
co-
is
it all-
also this is also with a texture pack though. It's got to be because that doesn't.
It's a
hold on.
texture pack, yeah.
Yeah, they gotta
Is it-
change the surfaces
Yeah.
to so they know to reflect the light.
No, because there's. I remember seeing a Minecraft with ray tracing, but still normal Minecraft texture pack. Because people love to do those realistic.
Yeah, they were
texture
gonna
packs.
do
Yeah,
that. And
but
they canceled it. They were gonna.
they have to
implement,
They have to at
couple
least
years ago, I
change
think.
the textures to know to reflect the light. So I mean, they can make it look. But this is them actually playing. They're not just. It's not like a camera sweeping through a realistic looking setting. I get what you're saying, but at the same time, I mean, if it still plays like Minecraft, I don't know what.
No, that
what it
doesn't look
changes.
like Minecraft though. That kind of looks like shite compared to Minecraft. I feel like at least what he's doing right now, like it looks weird. Doesn't look like a good art style.
It's like Peter Jackson. Put,
It's like when I complained about like the Panzer Dragoon
48
remake.
frames.
You can say that it plays like Panzer Dragoon, but it doesn't look like it. It does
Doesn't
make a
look
This
like-
massive
doesn't look like
difference.
Minecraft here.
Massive difference.
Dude,
What?
Minecraft has one of the greatest looking. See that part? That right there looks
Yeah,
pretty.
that's just because they were indoors and had specific areas, specific like surfaces like metals and stuff to get the most out of the reflections. But this is like just true Minecraft with the light rays and stuff.
Ironically enough, I think that looks better in some ways.
But either
Well,
way,
this-
the point
this
of
one
the
looks
the point
good. Yeah, this
is
part, yeah, where you're
when
at.
you add realistic lighting, the whole point was to show how dramatically it can change
Yeah.
how a game looks. And
Yeah, I think Donnie Art said it in the chat that like good lighting would help a lot of things age well.
well, just think.
Yeah, but I mean, we've had that all our gaming lives. It's just like we were talking N64 earlier. And when the first time you see something like Donkey Kong 64 or Jet Force Gemini, the lighting in there compared to what you were used to, that stuff blows you away. You know,
Well, that's why
you're
Animal
rejecting
Crossing
it.
looks so good.
What about
Yeah.
Quake? The first time you saw Quake, when you shot a missile and you saw the light from the rocket,
Yeah.
like
Trailing.
hitting the walls. I mean,
I don't think even that was real time lighting. That wasn't real time lighting. It's
probably
just,
not,
just
but
a-
it worked.
but still, it's the illusion of all these things that we love. It's not that I'm rejecting it. I'm just saying
What about
that
this footage
you
that's on right
still
now?
have
By
to
the way,
respect other things as well.
Say what?
what about the footage that's been on the last minute or so? Does you still feel that same way about saying it doesn't feel like Minecraft?
Elements of it look like Minecraft, but
But
I
no,
don't.
I
I don't like the water.
yeah, the water just looks like it doesn't look like
Oh yeah, that
Minecraft
looks
water.
kind of jarring actually.
You're
I'll
Like I
have to
said,
ask my daughter what she thinks.
Yeah, I
of
don't
know.
Minecraft.
To me, like this only. I mean,
I
it
personally
makes a
like-
game that
again,
looks.
We're talking to the guy that likes the default shit, so
I get-
they already have mod packs, all that stuff. I'm like, I want Minecraft.
To me,
bro.
this takes a pretty unattractive looking game from an art style standpoint.
What, dude? That is
It makes a
gorgeous
really
game.
attrautive looking game.
Robert,
just said-
Robert, you understand there's an age difference there.
Now this is graphics horn right here.
Yeah, this is
I
garbage.
mean, look at this ground
I
texture.
think-
They're not.
I think the original Minecraft art style is one of the best looking
The
games.
simplistic 8-bit-ish kind of.
This still has that,
So
but
that's what brings Minecraft its charm.
I know. To me,
I
this is
understand
just
that.
ugly though.
You start doing this.
But
kind of
that
shit
doesn't
to
look
it.
like Minecraft
Weird.
either. Whatever they have right there, that's fucking not Minecraft either. I don't know what they're looking. I'm not joking.
Robert's voice.
I trust that you played
Robert's
a
a
lot more
real one. He
Minecraft.
don't give a damn.
But the point was, we were talking about
What's happening,
getting
shit?
realistic, getting to the realistic level of Pixar movies looking now. Like, I think the whole point I was going to get to was that lighting.
I know.
Lighting is the key to that. You don't really have to add much else other than just take the lighting to the next step. And I think it would trick our eyes into thinking we're seeing Toy
Couple
Story
things.
4 level of visuals with what we have.
For
If
sure.
they could add that lighting on top of even Luigi's Mansion level of visuals,
Yeah.
because I know one of
Well-
the beautiful things
Well, I'm
about
just,
Luigi.
you know what this looks like to me? That at least this is. It looks like the Unreal Engine Zelda.
I was
thing.
gonna say. Look,
Really?
somebody-
Yeah.
Minecraft,
As somebody who doesn't like
Oh.
Minecraft, this looks like very appealing. Even it still
Minecraft
has, but look at how
looks
close it still has that
incredible,
pixelated.
And you
That
still wouldn't play Minecraft, so it doesn't matter.
I don't know, this we'll just obviously agree to disagree on that.
But at least make the water blue. Jesus fuck, yo. What are they doing? It looks like
That does look weird, bro. It looks like clear.
It just looks like glass. I agree.
Looks like
But I think
it
it's
looks like glass.
The point is to show the reflection in the water, though.
I know, but
That's the point.
God damn it, now everything needs a reflection like that.
I don't know. This to me
Looks
this,
like Juice House, honestly.
this looks gorgeous to me. This retains the retro style with a modern twist.
And what's so cool? Like it
yeah,
looks like
though.
mist. It looks like mist around the little. I don't know. I don't like.
Are you guys talking about how good that reflection of the water looks? Because
No.
to me,
They're saying
that
how
just
it
looks like it's
stupid.
see-through.
Yeah,
That's what
it's
I'm saying,
see-through,
it's
but I
like
think
see-through.
the reason
To
they
be
didn't
fair,
have just blue
essentially,
water.
this is another episode of look how pretty something looks. If you
graphics
make
so
it,
into the map.
But even like, look at. See, they're talking about like this is why it doesn't even work with Minecraft. Look how dark everything is in the bottom. Like nothing. It doesn't look good. It's so gray. Look how
You can
gray
make
is
it
in the
look
side.
as incredible
Damn.
as you want. It still sucks as a game. It's
Yeah,
still not
that's-
going to be.
That's a good place to end it.
Whoa.
That's a good place to end it,
Wow.
Retro. Thank you. Thank you
Whoa.
Ding, ding.
Dude,
It doesn't make it a good
I'm
game.
surprised, Retro. I'm surprised as hell you don't like Minecraft.
It doesn't make it a
You
good
know why I
game.
don't like Minecraft? I don't mind the building aspect. I like Dragon Quest Builders, for example, but there's a point to Dragon Quest Builders. I've always said Minecraft is a glorified chat room. It's not a game for me.
You
Yeah,
could,
that's-
you
that's
could,
not
you could go
necessarily
to
the
the end,
game's
yo. You
fault.
could go to the end though for the
That's
Ender
also
Dragon.
Welcome
that's
to the
also not
Minecraft
game's
debate
fault.
You can't blame
podcast.
the game because you want to talk on it instead of playing. Game's fault.
That also looks nice, Juice. I like the lava. That I think that looks good.
Yeah, it wasn't to talk about. I mean, initially wasn't to, if it still has the Minecraft feel to it. I mean, you're taking an.
Oh, where's the blue sky, man? Where's the blue sky?
It's
right
gray, yo.
This
Everything's
guy
so
just
shiny. It
easy.
looks like everything's
I
so
blame
shiny.
Juice entirely.
I
for
dare
that.
anybody to
Oh.
turn on Breath of the Wild and take a screenshot with an hour play session of a blue sky. I think they took him out of the game.
Juice. All right, this is
I
this
fucking
is
hate Juice for
this
that
is
shit.
like theory crafting. All right.
I was playing Animal Crossing and shit, and like this is awesome, like haze over the world and shit, because like sunset's about to start. I'm looking at the sky and I'm like, God damn it, Juice.
Hey, I mean, sunset and sunrise. I mean, I'm just saying. I just noticed one day, and I've been looking for it. And I haven't seen a clear sky or clear day in Breath of the Wild. But I haven't played it that much on the Switch lately. But the last,
I'm gonna have to go check it out. I haven't played
yeah,
it in a while.
because I mean, I always look forward to like, oh man, what a nice clear day. Like I always love that. Just like when you get one of those cloudy storms come in and the grass is really blowing, like just always stood out to me. Like the clear nights, especially. I always like the clear nights. Just like in real life. I love when I go outside and can see the stars. But anyway, Lightning asked a question. We'll save it for next week. We'll get to Dave 97's questions next week. We're going to get out of here. We started early, so we kind of feel like it's not that late, so no one's like...
Well, yeah, it's not.
But
Let's keep going.
I do got to feed the cat at some point.
And I gotta eat technically myself.
I gotta
Yeah,
play
food is
Animal
important,
Crossing.
kids.
Supper times.
You guys got some Animal Crossing to play, I'm sure. If you weren't
Yeah.
playing this whole time. I'll play Animal Crossing someday when there's realistic lighting. I'll play it.
Dude, they got no, hold up. But that's what I was gonna say is that the lighting in Animal Crossing is phenomenal.
Just ignore him, Rob. Ignore him.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah, but say
I'm not talking about adding realistic lighting to like Mario 64 and ruin your vision of that game. I'm talking about moving forward with games when they can add that realistic lighting.
I get you.
Yeah,
But I
that was the
think
whole point. I still think Minecraft looks significantly better from an art style standpoint in that area with the water that you guys were complaining about. That's just my taste.
Oh yeah, we
You
know.
know something.
But it
Yeah,
doesn't
we
look
know-
realistic. That's the
We
thing.
know what your taste.
It doesn't look realistic. It still has really low looking textures and pixelated shit.
I want to admit it.
Just had
We
amazing
know.
lighting.
It looks like pretty much what you were doing like a mod.
Just like all
That's
five
right,
of
yeah,
you.
like a mod showcase.
Just like all five of you when we were talking about our best looking games of the year, and you talk about how good Luigi's Mansion 3 looks and the lighting and the
But that's what I'm
flashlight.
trying to say.
Yeah, that's art
You know?
style though.
That's fine for those games. You can't take something that's been established and then turn
Yeah,
it.
but that wasn't the point.
Looking Frankenstein looking at.
What do you mean
I'm
that
just saying
wasn't-
I said
It's
I
called moving. It's called moving the goalposts.
Like a
That's what
bad
you did.
thing, though.
I said I
It doesn't make
prefer
look
it.
good.
but I wasn't. That wasn't the point I was trying to make with adding lighting for every old game. You know, I was just saying in that instance, it can show you what lighting can do.
Minecraft is gorgeous,
No,
man.
it's ugly as fuck.
Listen. It's like it's a weird distaste, but it's fine. Juice is kind of weird with it. It's weird how you get on retro for having weird takes, but you
All right,
also
Terrell.
are different in that
Terrell.
sense.
Is
look at the
Minecraft
man
in
in
its
the mirror.
original form a good-looking game in your opinion?
Hell
Wait,
yeah.
hold on. What? I didn't hear you. Juice.
Minecraft in its original form, is it a good-looking game in your opinion?
Yeah, I like the way it looks.
No.
Look, I
God
don't even
damn
like
it,
the
retro.
game, but I think it's simple and
I don't
clean.
play I don't
Yeah,
play
I-
Minecraft, but I never
What it
had an
does.
issue with the way it looked.
I think it's simple and clean and good for what it does.
Yeah, I mean,
At
Yeah,
times
like
it
it
reminds me
it
of
works for
early
what it is.
PC
Just
It reminds me of like early first-person PC games.
You're also talking about a
It
game
reminds
that's
me.
been around since like what 2000 and
and it doesn't
eight?
look like it now. It doesn't even the base version doesn't look like it did when it first came out. That's,
No, exactly. They've upgraded
Yeah,
it.
you can't
Yeah,
deny
yeah.
it.
Oh,
It
sorry.
looks a lot better than it did when it first came out.
Yeah, Minecraft has been out for like 11 years. Like it's weird. I never
I'm
had
sure
an issue
Rocket
with.
League looks better too. I mean, that just happens. That have been out for a while.
Imagine if you had
They-
Rocket
they
League with
didn't-
those damn
they
lights.
didn't really-
You'd be blind. You'd be
They
blind. You
put
couldn't
like
see anything.
realistic cars and shit in there.
Yeah,
I like
they
that
didn't
shit.
really
That
change.
shit is going so weird.
They didn't really change the graphic style of since the launch. It definitely looks different from a. They've changed a lot of the layout and not the production, but the what do you want to call it? Like the menu system and stuff's all
The UI. and
changed.
shit.
It does look funny to go back and look at what it looked originally, like the main menu and stuff. But anyway, we're gonna get out of here.
This is not worth all this time.
We got viewers dropping left and right ever since we talking about the PS5, and hopefully some people will watch this on the replay because I'm sure some people didn't know it was. They thought that we weren't going to do one. I forgot to post on Twitter.
You ain't even
Hopefully
tell
go to the
anybody.
sub
You-
box.
you had
Hopefully go
one
to the
job.
sub box.
Somebody call.
Hopefully it shows up in
somebody.
people's boxes, and you guys get some entertainment out of it. We should be back next week, 4 p.m. Eastern time on Monday. There's rumors of a Nintendo Direct or people bringing that back
Oh,
up
God.
because Animal Crossing's out now,
Oh,
and
nice.
so who knows? We'll see. And
Now Nintendo's
Yeah, because
free,
Animal Crossing wasn't gonna sell if they released a direct before.
Right.
That wasn't the
Nintendo's free
reason
now.
why
They
I
can
think
only
they just.
work on one game at a time, so
Yeah.
they have to focus.
I just said
That
I-
wasn't the reason.
I kinda feel like they-
That's all I'm saying.
they didn't feel like they needed to announce anything until after.
Yeah, but say when you have
Animal
a big
Crossing.
game coming out, it's like we're good.
But anyway, we'll
They
see
did that
what
with Smash.
we'll
too.
see what we can talk about next week. Maybe we can talk about some 3D audio or something. Something you guys will really like.
Somewhat.
3D audio because there was a
We gotta
That's
talk
very-
about
that's-
Mark Cerny. at
25
Holy
minutes
That's very
on-
cool. 3D.
I only
love-
really care about 3D audio.
I'm
in,
a
like,
huge
one
surround
instance.
sound guy, Dolby Atmos, absolutely love it. But
No, it's cool. It's cool. It's
that
just like
shit they're
you don't wanna
doing-
Hear about them talking about
that
it
shit
for
they're doing is
30
completely
minutes.
unnecessary. It's a waste of time and money because it's geared for headphone users, and that's not me. So,
Most gamers do not game with their headphones on.
so
Well,
we'll be
don't
back.
say don't say that.
We'll be back next week.
Most I can say that.
Bye.